Formula One heads away from Bahrain and on to Saudi Arabia. It's the Jeddah Corniche circuit for round 2 of the season. So Max Verstappen wins the season opener in Bahrain. Now we move on to Saudi Arabia before 2 weeks' time in Australia. A month off before we return to Baku in Azerbaijan on the first sprint race of the year. Back to back with Miami. 2 weeks, then we go to Emilia-Romagna. Monaco rounds out at the end of May. Spain in June. It's going to be one of the hottest races we've had there. Canada then on the middle of June as well before at the end. We go to Austria. Great Britain for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone on the 9th of July. Hungary and Belgium take us to the summer break. Following Belgium and the summer break, we go to the Netherlands, back-to-back with Italy. Then it's to Singapore, Japan, Qatar, United States, Mexico, Brazil. The first race ever at Las Vegas on the Strip, back, of course, since the 1980s. Then we go to Abu Dhabi to round out the season. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen leads by 7 points to Sergio Perez after their 1-2 in Bahrain. Fernando Alonso is in third position ahead of Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton rounds out the top 5. Then it's Lance Stroll ahead of Russell, Bottas, Gasly, and Alexander Albon completes the point scorers so far. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull lead the way by 20 points to Aston Martin as well, 43-23. Mercedes on 16, clear Ferrari. Alfa Romeo, Alpine in a battle as well with Williams. AlphaTauri, Haas and McLaren yet to score points after a poor weekend in Bahrain. It's time for the most crucial race of the season. Anything can happen around this 27-turn circuit. It's round 2 for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, a 3.836 mile circuit, 27 turns in total, one of the fastest street circuits on the F1 calendar, and it certainly is one of the most difficult to get right. It is a fascinating track. Start the lap then on the run down towards turn number 1. You've got DRS at this point as well. Use it to your maximum. It's a hard braking left turn, 90 degrees. Slam the brakes all the way down. Third gear. Casually hit the throttle before a very tight turn 2 right-hander. Accelerate down through 3. Now it's 4, 5 and 6. The beginning of the sort of Mickey Mouse sections as well. The track now is on itself. It's quite hard to keep a rhythm flowing as well as you're bouncing off towards the barriers as high as you possibly can. Be careful not to exceed the track limits like that there, but the FIA are usually okay with it because it's such a difficult track to get right as well. They don't police it if you're forced off wide. Now into the banking hairpin turn 13, rising in as well. It's just a little bit of degree of banking, but it's amazing to get an overtake there. Hurtle down out towards 7th gear as well. Back up towards one of the tightest chicanes on the track. Slam on the brakes down to 4th gear. Flip the car into the right, then the left as you're casually accelerating. Opening up your DRS once more as you hurtle down. This is the most dangerous part of the track. It's a blind entry to the corner. This is where Schumacher crashed back in 2021, causing the red flag. Flick the car in, hope it stays, then bang on the throttle. Now you're flat out all the way down. Turns 25, 26 as well. Flat out with the DRS. Of course, Leclerc and Verstappen playing chicken. Hamilton and Verstappen making contact. It's a famous part of the track. Hurtle down then. Slam on the brakes, playing the DRS chicken, 3rd gear corner through turn 27, flat out now, 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear with the DRS open. You reach 8th gear as you cross the line now, and that is a lap of the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Everybody watching on YouTube, welcome to Saudi Arabia as well on JB Motorsports. We're getting all action then here. We've been on USON for the past 35 minutes and we're getting set as well. For those of you who are just watching on YouTube, we've just been talking about it. It is going to be slightly different. I have contracted COVID. I am positive for it as well, so that means there's no Megan Birch in the commentary box as well, and there's no Ian Birch either for obvious reasons. We don't want to get them infected. Megan's already lost her voice. That was a separate issue, so she won't be here. And Ian Birch, obviously, we can't have him anywhere near if I'm testing positive. So, virtually joining me in the commentary box is our usual pit reporter, Josh, and Jess Ball is joining us as well for this race. Good afternoon, good evening as well to you both. Race starts in 55 minutes' time. And Jess, we're looking for what is going to be, I hope, a very interesting race, very chaotic one coming up. And I feel like I've got a new lease of life standing up in the commentary box as well. So it's the adrenaline of being on air as well. It just makes you feel better.
Yeah, exactly. And I have to say, if it wasn't in Saudi Arabia, I would pretty much be looking forward to this race anyway, because Jeddah, when you commentate on league racing, it's always electric. There's always something going on. There's always some nice battles. There's always some nice risks going down the inside of certain corners. And I think I used to hate it at the start, but now watching the last couple of F2 races and the F1 race last year, I think it just had a new lease of life, really. And there's a few people out of position. Obviously, Charles Leclerc has a 5-place grid penalty due to him changing his electronic components. And we also got Max Verstappen. Who would have thought? He had a drive shaft issue yesterday with his gearbox, and that, well, pretty much prevented him taking part in Q2. He's going to be starting 15th. I believe no gearbox penalty, because I think he changed his gearbox, and I think he's still within the allocation. So luckily no extra penalty for Verstappen, but he has started from P15 before, P14 before. Belgian Grand Prix, and guess what? He won that race. So
14.
And 14th, yeah, and pretty much every person that started 15th in Jeddah has scored points in all iterations, I believe. So yeah, but I'm almost certain Verstappen's going to be on the podium at least. But the question is, how long is he going to take to get to like that position?
I've kept him as my pick a winner, and I'll ask Josh that question as well, because he's all our statmans as well. Are we expecting a push through for Verstappen? Could he be back up there before even the first pit stops? It's a quick car.
Yeah, it really, really is. And he could be up there, but I don't think it would be straight after the first pit stop. So he's going to be having some really, really big and good battles with some big names out there, with Fernando Alonso, to name one, Lewis Hamilton as well. Imagine if we get Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton down into turn 27 again, and how that could end up from the past couple of years that we've had it. Do we really want another 2021? Not really.
No, because too many red flags standing in the box for 4 hours. I don't really think I fancy that this evening. I think I'd prefer
That wasn't fun.
Yeah, a quick 50 lap race, around about 90 minutes. I'll be out there going to bed.
This isn't the F3 feature race, Josh.
Yeah, so that's going to be really
50
annoying.
minutes.
I want to Living for Speed says get well soon, Joshua. Thank you very much. And I was telling the story to Jess and Josh and Synthel just after the F2 race earlier. Considering that a couple of hours ago I was in bed 20 minutes before the start of the Formula 2 race, in bed, not dressed, didn't want to get up, and I'm still in the commentary. That's brilliant. And honestly, I don't know how people with COVID have managed to continue on and do everything. It's absolutely unbelievable.
F1 TV got the F2 times wrong as well, so we were all,
yes.
I think everyone was rushing into the commentary box, I think like a minute after it started. So
yeah,
it was quite frantic.
Yeah, and
they didn't help.
Is it a brilliant time to point out that that Motorsport Countdowns had the correct timings?
Yeah.
Well done, Josh, getting it right. Yeah. Richie has said Josh, and Jess. What's your top 5 predictions as well? Well, so I suppose actually we've got JB, and JT. So.
The J's.
Yeah, all J's.
Just like yesterday.
Yeah, so go on then. Top 5 predictions in the race. I'll start with you then, Jess.
Well, obviously I've gone Perez for the win. Alonso P2. Verstappen 3rd. Russell 4th. Hamilton 5th.
I will go for Verstappen winning. because he's my pick a winner, even before the penalty, with the problem we had in qualifying. So I thought I'll put Verstappen will come back to 15th and win. Perez will be second, Alonso third, Sainz fourth, Ocon fifth. I think that's my little run down the order. Josh, what about you?
I've got Sergio Perez for first.
You said Alonso earlier on.
I have changed.
Cheat.
With Fernando Alonso second.
Oh, okay.
Then I think
you
we could
nicked
have
my prediction.
A Max Verstappen third. And then I have no idea who's going to be fourth or fifth. We could have Charles Leclerc in there from his penalty, but then he could retire. We could have Lewis Hamilton. We could have Lance Stroll. I have no idea.
Forgot about Lance Stroll.
Many people do. Is that a bit rude? Is that too rude there?
I think that's a bit rude. In fact, I think they're having a interview with him on Sky Sports at the moment with Monty Rundle.
They are. I'll tell you what, let's push it up.
When you're driving, so it's really thanks to everyone back at Silverstone that's done an incredible job at building this car. That's a real pleasure to drive.
Your first few laps in the Bahrain Grand Prix weekend, could you feel that literally out of the box, like a different machine?
Well, I felt my wrists. That was the first thing that I felt. I was kind of thinking more about how much pain I was going to be in and if I could drive. But yeah, I mean, with this car, I definitely felt early on it was a big step.
Here we are looking over the Red Sea on the Jeddah Corniche. What do you think you can achieve this weekend?
Well, we'll see. Very different track to Bahrain. I mean, here it's a very high-speed circuit, so completely different layout. But the track's great to drive. It's really exciting, super fast. You know, I hope we can have another great weekend and score some big points. If we can, you know, pick up where we left off in Bahrain, that would be great.
Good luck. Can I shake your hand?
Yeah, we can do that.
Not too gently.
It's good. Thanks, Martin.
Well done. Good luck.
Thanks.
Martin Rundle there just talking. Let's have a word with Sky F1 actually and see what they think.
Well, he's still healing, just got into the car. This is him just getting into the car as we speak before going out for a race at a very, very different circuit. Have either of you got into a car with a broken bone or a significant injury?
Stupidly broke my wrist. I just got a paid full drive in Formula 2000, which is crucial to my career, and I went motorbiking in Wales before the season started and broke my wrist, so I had to keep a secret from the team.
How did that feel?
It was a bit painful. They make them tough in Canada, don't they? I mean, that's very impressed. Everyone's very impressed with Lance Stroll for coming back and getting it fixed, you know, because it's very easy to say I can't race. He's just ploughed on through the pain. It's fantastic.
I mean, and when he came to speak to us afterwards in Bahrain, he said, you know, there were tears as he was in that cockpit going through not the motions, but I mean, the stresses and strains on those must be incredible.
No, it's so horrible to drive a Formula One car when you have other issues going on, because it's so hard as it is and so tough and I mean tiring and everything, and then when you're feeling broken bones, I mean, wow, that's really like something you don't want to have.
What do you think it did for him, though? You talk about us. This is his recovery process, and it was absolutely intense. Obviously, you saw the best surgeon, one who deals quite a lot with MotoGP injuries, but you can see the pins in the wrist there. You know, it cannot have been easy. What's it done? Well, let's not call it street cred. What's it done for his reputation?
I don't know what it... I mean, definitely I think we've been impressed with his determination to get back in the car and his courage to overcome the pain. But what I think is interesting is how keen he is to talk about it, and he seems much more content to kind of expose himself and talk about himself to us about how he feels about it. And also, in qualifying here yesterday, he had the fastest first sector here. This is pure courage, this first sector, and he was flying. And you know, and again in Bahrain, he wasn't holding back. So he's showing us that he's got mettle, he's got determination.
Yeah, Alonso called him his hero. We'll come back on to Fernando Alonso as we get closer to lights out. But what about his chances today, do you think?
I think Lance has great chances because they have a fantastic car this weekend, you know, and he needs to try and stay close to Fernando in front, not lose too much time with the traffic. And I mean, the Aston is fighting for the podium today, and why not Lance as well?
Okay, well, one person who would have been coping or dealing with his strategy last year was someone who used to sit on the Aston Martin pit wall, but their loss is our gain, because this year, delighted to say, joined by former performance engineer on JB's car at McLaren, and then head strategist at Force India as it became Racing Point and Aston Martin. So yes, a warm welcome to Bernie Collins, a little bit further down the pit lane with Martin.
Absolutely. Welcome to the gang, Bernie. We got a couple of drivers out of position on the grid. Charles Leclerc in 12th, of course, at Ferrari, and Max Verstappen in 15th at Red Bull. Let's focus on him for a moment. With your strategy head on, what will Red Bull need to do tonight for him?
Yeah, I think it was a bigger night than they were expecting in the Red Bull strategy department, but you know, they're renowned for being really strong at strategy. I think that they'll be trying to see how can they best find that car, Verstappen, some free air. How can they get him a position where he can show his through pace and he's not stuck behind some slower cars? So they'll be looking through the strategy options that buy him some freedom, where that be likely around the middle of the race is what they're probably aiming for there.
So obviously Ferrari came here knowing they were going to take a penalty on Charles Leclerc's Ferrari F1 car, but Verstappen's car broke down in qualifying. They didn't know that, so all of their free practice running would have been assuming they were going to be on the front row of the grid. Yeah, exactly, and there's lots of things that affects. You know, you're banking for free air almost, because you're expecting with their pace that they're going to be P1 or P2. So there's lots of little things that they might need to change. You know, one example is they've got to now adjust their fuel load for the fact that they're going to have X amount of laps in traffic. They're going to have slightly more heating on the engine or on any of the components of the car because of all of those cars in front of them. Max has definitely got more work to do, but the pit wall will try their best to help them with that. So would you reduce the fuel a little bit? You think he'll use less fuel in traffic? Yeah, exactly. So in the traffic, they'll be, you'll save a little bit because the cars ahead are punching that hole through the air for you. So there'll be some allowances like that they'll be trying to get him the most optimum race they can. And does the driver get involved in this, or is it a pure numbers game? The driver gets involved, definitely. And, you know, we all know what the optimum strategy should be. So the driver definitely has his input to that. And it was interesting, I had a conversation with Damon, and he said, oh, we always like to do something different. And every driver I've ever had always said, I want to do something that's different. And Max will be the same. He'll want to get a different strategy to those around him to get that space so they can. And staying out of trouble will be the key for both of them heading down to a very tight first corner. Thanks for your insights on that. And back to you, Simon.
Grid's just starting to get ready then as well. The entire situation is building. The pit lane opens in 3 minutes' time. Sergio Perez on pole position as well. Sky F1 going for a break, but when they come back, we'll go down to Karun Chandhok in the pit lane. We'll hear them from David Croft and catch some of the drivers on the bathroom breaks, and then we'll be on for Martin's grid walk as well. But coming into this, just got some questions coming in as well. Richie says his top 5, Alonso, Checo, Russell, Max, Stroll. I forgot how good Verschoor's performance was, 20th to 6th in the F2 race just a few moments ago. Scott says Stroll received a lot of criticism for only driving for Aston because of Daddy. Has he proven himself and the doubters wrong now? That's an interesting question. I would say yes. Jess, what about you?
I think so, especially with that performance in Bahrain. He obviously he'd broken his right wrist. He was just about allowed to race. He got given the all clear, and honestly, he would have been higher without those risks, but he was still able to battle with Russell. Russell was ahead of him, and Stroll overtook him. He beat one of the Mercedes, for goodness sake, and Aston Martin with Stroll and Alonso scored some decent points. So I think I had my doubt on Stroll before coming into Bahrain, but I think after that, I think Stroll definitely has the talent, and even though Alonso is quicker than him, Stroll is not that far behind, and I think that could be an interesting partnership. So I think hopefully it's proved a lot of doubters wrong, but it's definitely proved me wrong so far. Let's hope he has a good race in Saudi, because it would be nice for them to challenge Red Bull in the constructors.
Josh?
Yeah, it has, and before the 2023 season, I think a lot of people doubted Lance Stroll. He's got talent if he has the right car. It's just the silly and stupid mistakes he makes. It was quite regular, but the more time he's had in Formula 1, it's kind of got better. And 2023 could be a good season, and probably will be. a good season for Lance Stroll. Of course, going back to the 2022, actually, the American Grand Prix with Fernando Alonso, actually.
Yes,
with
over the
Lance
top.
Stroll. So, no doubt they're going to be reminded about that when they're going into Qatar as teammates.
Rene E says Max will somehow find a way to be in the top 3, and let's only hope Red Bull doesn't tell Perez to slow down for him again.
Yes.
That's a thing. But the pit lane is open, by the way. We've gone green here. The pits are open. Cars are beginning to head out onto the circuit. Stroll first out as well, out of the circuit. So if we switch over to the battle screen actually now, you can see they are starting to head out onto the circuit with the full starting procedure here for the Grand Prix of Saudi Arabia. And we'll head over to Sky F1 for their pit updates. Karun Chandnok is down in the pit lane. We'll hear them from Crofty. Rachel Brooks will be going around scooping up drivers, and then Martin Brundle's grid walk will take us to the national anthem before we all get ready to go as well. A lot of action, a lot of anticipation coming into this one with such precedent set for what should be a good race with out-of-position championship contenders. It really should be something fun. We've got Verstappen 15th on the grid. We've got Leclerc 12th as well. Cars are heading out, guys, as well. But Jess, how many times do you reckon they'll go through the pit lane, do some practice starts? It's a crucial track to get right here at Jeddah because turn 1 is quite soon after the line.
Yeah, because obviously they've got to practice the pit entry because they'll probably be doing it many times during the race. So I know obviously they had qualifying to get used to it, but they've got their race fuel. They won't be going on the tyres necessary that they'll be starting the race on. So they might have got like a used tyre on just to get a feel for the track a bit more. It will probably be a few times, but they won't have very long just to get settled in before going into the race. It's about that mindset, isn't it? I know when I league race, I have some pre-race rituals. I listen to music before I start, and I know certain drivers like to do certain things before they start as well. So it's just getting the mind focused, making sure everything's working so you don't need to worry about as much going into the race, and then you can just focus on the track in front of you and the cars behind when you're battling. So yeah, you got to be as confident as you can really going into the race. As we see on Sky Sports F1, a lot of cars are going out now. Let's hope we don't have too much problems going into that. And I'm actually going to look at the onboards as well during the race. So I have it on my tablet. So just let me know at some point which onboard you want me to follow, and I'll follow that one.
We will indeed. Let's head down to the pits. Karun.
Let's go to Karun.
Thank you very much, Simon. Lewis Hamilton parked right up next to me in his Mercedes. The race is going to be a fascinating one because we've got two very fast cars out of position here. We've got Max Verstappen starting down at 15th. We've got this man, Charles Leclerc, in his Ferrari starting down in 12th. Strategically, it is actually a pretty simple race on the face of it because it is a slam dunk one stop. Now look at the Pirelli strategies. They say the fastest way to run it is a one-stopper, starting on the medium, then going to the hard. The second fastest is starting on the soft, going to the hard tire. The third is it, to be honest, I don't think anyone's going to take that third option. They're starting on the medium. So Carlos Sainz in his Ferrari, what can he do? He is upholding honours for the red cars at the sharp end of the grid. They have got to keep an eye out though, because George Russell did a superb job of qualifying to get ahead of them. George, here comes Lando Norris. He's got a lot of work to do from 19th at the back of the grid. But his teammate, Oscar Piastri, how will he be feeling? Hasn't yet done a full Grand Prix distance, of course, in Formula One. Had those reliability issues. He has done an outstanding job so far to qualify 8th on the grid. His race is going to be against this guy, starting up behind him, Esteban Ocon in the Alpine. They were very fast in free practice, didn't quite deliver when it came to qualifying. But if we just spin the camera around before I throw back to you, the two drivers coming up, George Russell and Fernando Alonso. The start, absolutely important. Their best opportunity to get past the car who's 4th in this particular queue for the practice starts, Sergio Perez. They've got to get these practice starts absolutely spot on. And yeah, we'll see how the race unfolds after that. Back to you guys.
David Croft is up in the commentary box.
Well, thanks ever so much, Karun, here in the commentary box, watching those practice starts. There's an Aston Martin with Fernando Alonso on the front row of the grid. First time Aston Martin have been on the front row of a grid since Roy Salvadori, 1959 British Grand Prix. That was 63 years, 8 months and 1 day ago, the longest gap ever for a constructor between front row starts. George Russell, as you mentioned, great qualifying for him. He starts third on the grid. Mercedes took 13 races to get a top 3 start in the 2022 season. And for Sergio Perez, it's a touch of deja vu, isn't it, this evening? His second career pole at the track that he took his maiden pole at some 12 months ago. Jean Alesi and Sergio Perez, now the only drivers in Formula One history to have multiple poles, both at the same track. It was Monza in 94 and 97 for Jean Alesi. No doubt, though, two drivers very much out of position tonight. Charles Leclerc starts 12th. Last time he did that was Austin last year, where he finished on the podium, 3rd. And Max Verstappen, who had a misfortune with a broken drive shaft, now starts 15th. Now, he's finished on the podium 3 times in 9 starts from that low on the grid. As you remember Spa last season, he went from 14th to lead by lap 12. Well, to emulate that this evening, he needs to lead by lap 14, which, according to some of the people I've spoken to in the paddock, is not out of the question. Let's see what happens and be prepared for safety cars and red flags. Anything can happen here. Look at those walls, perilously close to the track. Simon, down to you.
Has to say about the red flags, doesn't he? Has to spoil our fun and say about, oh, we could be here for ages as well. It's only 50 laps long as well. We shouldn't be really running that much as well. Lewis Hamilton just circulating out on the track then as well, out on soft compound tyres. This will be the tyres he goes to the grid with as well, Jess. But how important is it for Hamilton starting 7th on the grid? He needs to get the start ASAP, right? And then heading towards turn number 1, hopefully in about 4th position.
Very well in Jeddah in the past. He actually finished 10th, I believe, in Jeddah last year, so he's not a keen fan of this circuit. He did have high praises for his teammate George, so he knows that the car is getting there, and there has been some news that there has been some updates to Mercedes concept at the moment, and it is working in some way. They're not as far up as they want to be, but they're getting closer, of course. Imagine if Verstappen obviously would have got pole position. I think the gap would have increased further a little bit, but you know, the rival, you really want to beat your teammate first, and because obviously Hamilton has been beaten by his teammate in qualifying, it's going to give him some motivation for the race. And if he can't get past the likes of Ocon, Stroll and Sainz, I think he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And I don't think Russell's going to potentially help his teammate, because obviously it's too early for team orders at this point. So Hamilton's got a lot of work to do, because he's proved that he can do it in 2021, but he didn't have the car to do well in 2022, and not as much in 2023. So yeah, it's going to be hard, but there's plenty of experience in Hamilton that he can do it. But we have a strong midfield in the likes of Russell, Sainz, Stroll, Ocon, Hamilton. They're all very close together, and even Piastri was very close in qualifying between himself and Hamilton. And Piastri, I think, really was our star of qualifying, as well as Perez as well, and Alonso. His first Q3 appearance, he qualified better than the rookies as well, and he seemed a lot more comfortable in the car. Maybe his FP3 setup helped him a little bit there, didn't it? Yeah,
FP3 was a really fast run for him as well. Just to take a look quickly here as well, Ed Hunter, hello Ed, says the big question in my opinion is who's going to hold up Verstappen for the longest, and is Lewis going to run into him? We've said possibly yes with both on those counts. Rene says, imagine if Lawrence got rid of his son in the car. Vettel-Alonso duo could have been mad. It really could have been. And Drugovich also, I think, would have been a good one there. Richie says, the race has started. No, not yet, no. Richie. This is the car's going to the grid. So this is Lewis Hamilton starting 7th with some radio.
But we know that you were very good at reframing your mindset to come back stronger. How are you approaching today, both in terms of mentally and on track?
How you guys doing? Well, firstly, just it's a beautiful day. Looking forward to the race tonight. It's a new day. It's a new opportunity to improve, to do better, to be better, and so I'm focused on just being positive and having fun. Like, I love what I'm doing. I love racing, and I mean, we're so privileged to do what we do. So I'm just going to try and enjoy today.
And in terms of the teams around you, we've got such a mix in that top 10. Who do you think your fight is with?
Everybody. I mean, not naturally going to try to progress forward. George did an amazing job yesterday, so he's got a bit of a different race ahead of him. But for me, it's trying to progress and gain as many points for the team. And yeah, I think it's around. It's the Aston that's in front of me. It's Ocon and a couple of guys, but I think Gasly and that who are around me. So yeah.
Okay, all to play for. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Lewis Hamilton there talking with Ariana Bravio earlier on in the session as well. Crown Tiger says, I don't know how this sport, this is sport. Max's car got double power than the rest. Max's engine got more power than Perez, Red Bull politics as well. The Red Bull got the same power unit between the two, but it's mainly between how it's deployed in the race, isn't it, with strategy? That's going to be the key thing. And Verstappen is just a very quick driver, and the car is faster than all the others. So he starts 15th, but I'm expecting him to be inside the top 4 in the first 15 laps or so. I mean, a bit like Spa last year, where it was all done by around about lap 20. Mute.
Thanks, Josh.
No worries.
Yeah, I have a button on my stream deck actually, and I forgot to unmute it. But yeah, thanks to Josh, the other Josh, by the way, for helping me with my stream deck before we went live. But can help me with the volumes and stuff. But yeah, what were you saying?
Sorry, I was having a cough there. Yeah, about how with Max Verstappen, I'm expecting him to be up there in the top 5.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, Red Bull know that Max Verstappen has been their man, who's joined the Red Bull family, been a really fast guy. Of course, the car is going to be more suited to that. Do we have the national anthem? No, it's not, is it?
Not
no, it's not.
yet, no.
Okay, I thought it was the national anthem. That was early. But yeah, Max Verstappen's car was designed around him, and you see other people struggling in the Red Bull with Gasly, Albon, and Perez. It's not a new thing, really, and I think Perez has been the closest in terms of pace to Verstappen compared to his other teammates. But I think with any car, if you design it with one person in mind, I don't think it's good. I think you've got to do like with other teams and design it for both people in mind, in my opinion, as well. And it also brings us on to Hamilton's contract renewal with Mercedes, as Scott was saying. Will he have to take a pay cut if Russell finishes the season ahead of him again?
Oh, I think he would actually.
I don't know.
I would say yeah, because it's like Russell deserves the more pay. He's been putting more pressure on if he finishes ahead of him again. But it's down to Martin on the grid.
Get a feel for what it's like down here in 15th of the 20 places. Car number 1 then, there it is, very much out of position in terms of its ultimate performance. And Max has been talking about his foot slipping on the brake pedal, but otherwise no issues. That's why they're getting inside the cockpit and why they're working on the front of the car. I can see Christian Horner standing over here. Christian, what's the problem with the brake pedal?
There's no problem with the brake pedal. There's just a little bit of fluid out the reservoir, so it's just a bit of a tidy up, but nothing significant.
All right, so brake fluid's made its way back into the pedal box.
That's where they bleed it in the morning. They all seem, you know, if you look at Phillips, he's the chief mechanic. If he looks reasonably calm, then it's all okay.
Then you're calm. So any nerves about this drive shaft that broke? Are your drivers going to have to stay off the curbs and not give it full beans?
Well, you're always nervous with these cars. They're so on the edge. But I think we understood the failure that happened. Hopefully we have a remedy for it. You know, here we checked Checo's, they were all fine. So, you know, let's see. It's a long race and a tough one.
A bit of fingers crossed then. Can he win this? Do you expect him to be top 2?
I think it's a big shot to win it. If he got anywhere near the podium, that would be a hell of a drive.
All right, good stuff. Let's make our way down the grid and see what's going on. So Kevin Magnussen then, he's got Max Verstappen directly behind him on the grid. I don't know if he's still standing around. That's so we can have a quick chat with him if he's up for a chat. K-Mag is normally keen for a little word. He's talking to his engineer, of course, so gave us a quick glance. I'd be interested to know what he can tell us about the track and what he can tell us about his philosophy with Magnussen alongside, with Verstappen alongside behind him, and over there Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. So he's in a very busy part of the grid. We'll give it another 10-15 seconds just to see if we can get a word from him. And how are you? You speak English? Yeah, I was just going to have a quick chat with you while I got 10 seconds to spare, but no worries. Sorry, Mark. Kevin, what can you tell us? You've got Max in your mirrors.
Yeah, I have Max in the mirrors and Ferrari over there. So it's.
I mean, their problem, or it's not your fight?
It's not. I don't expect it to be my fight. Certainly not the Red Bull. I think it's one of those where you try to not lose any time with it and take care of your tires when they overtake you.
All right, good. And your car looks quick on a single lap. How is it on the longer runs?
We'll see. I mean, in Bahrain we struggle a bit with degradation. It seems better here, but it's still we're not we're not the best in terms of degradation. So we'll see how we go.
Have a great race. I mean, it's going to be a fast race. If there is no safety car, for example, this race could be over in an hour and 17, hour and 18 minutes. But there has always been a safety car in the previous 2 races, at least one, and virtual safety cars as well. We'll keep heading forward and see who else we can find. So it's a very narrow grid look. Martin Whitmarsh used to be, he's the guy who fired me at McLaren, actually. What do you mean? You never stop talking normally. But
how are you today?
I'm fine. I just want to hear from, like, where can Fernando finish in the Aston Martin?
Well, anywhere, really. I mean, as you know, safety cars can really screw this race up. But we're hopeful. We'll see what we go. I mean, we don't deserve to be up there yet, but we've made a bit of progress, so we'll keep pushing.
Excellent. Good to see you, Martin. Yeah, he's a good lad. Even if he did fire me. But he hired me as well. I went for a 45-minute interview to get the McLaren drive back in 1994. And I didn't say anything. Martin spoke the whole time and I still got the job. So maybe that's the secret to getting a job. Don't say anything at the interview, then you can't be wrong. So where else can we go? I can see Will Smith over there in front of... I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to nip down the inside. Can you get down here as well, Willie? Yeah. Can I just squeeze through there? I won't tread on anything, I promise. And we'll see if we can. Yeah, I know. I think we're all organised. It's okay. Yeah. 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 Hi, Penny. I think we're. One question. Yeah. I'll do it. Plus VAT. Will, great to see you on the grid. Are you Team Lewis this evening?
Yeah, Team Lewis, that's my guy. That's my guy. Out late last night, so I lost my voice a little bit, but always Team Lewis.
I think Lewis needed a big night out last night because he had a pretty difficult qualifying. But are you going to be in the new Formula One movie?
I haven't been asked yet, but I would love to. I might have to work on this gut though. It doesn't fit in the car too well.
All right, I think my one question's over. Really good to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, top man. Right, what else are we going to do? See who else we can find up here. So yeah, I started to say how narrow this grid is. I paced it out. It's just 15 little Brundle paces across it, and I'm, what am I, 5'8" or something like that. And there's no excess space on the outside of the track at all. There's nowhere to go. It is very narrow. By the way, I meant to start off, but we had Max's car there. Happy Mother's Day. Regret to inform you, you've only got the second best mother in the world, because I've got the best mother in the world, my dear mother Alma, who I'm sure will be watching this afternoon. And but I hope you're having a lovely day. And there then is the gorgeous green paintwork of the Aston Martin. And that, of course, is Lance Stroll's car. He told us that he's feeling a little bit better, but still got a bit of a crack in one of his wrists. So he'll be very, very nervous of any contact in the first corner, for example. There's Adrian talking to Mick. Of course, they won 2 World Championships together at McLaren. We've got David Richards here, head of Motorsport UK. David, what do you reckon to all of this? You know Saudi and you know a bit of racing over here.
It's look at the atmosphere here. The motor racing only came here a few years ago, and look what's happened now. The crowds are coming, the enthusiasm's here, the atmosphere, and it's going to be a great race.
Good stuff. Good to see you. I'm going to zoom down here and see if I can find a driver. So I think we've already found out about the Red Bull and the possibilities of. They're obviously quite nervous, and yeah, I'm just being Fred Vasseur. So the team boss. Oh, must feel wonderful to be the team principal of Ferrari.
Yeah, it's a nice life.
Good. So have you?
No pressure, easy life.
Yeah, I'm sure. So have you fixed it?
Challenge. It's a mega challenge, and it's probably the best position on the grid.
Yeah, and are you confident you fixed the electrical issues? What percentage?
No, that the issue that we had in Bahrain was completely unexpected, and it was the first time in 4 years. It means that we have to deeply understand what's happened exactly, but so far it's under control, and we changed the PU to be on the safe side, but we had no big preoccupation about the reliability this weekend.
What would be a good result from P12 for Charles?
To come back in the top 5, I think it's the target for him, and to put Carlos on the podium.
All right, that's straightforward enough. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Let's see if we can find another driver or two and get a feel for how this track is out there. So Fernando Alonso, the mighty Fernando Alonso, is 42 on July the 29th. Oh, I'm very sorry. On July the 29th, I believe it is. And that's extraordinary, but and he's still feisty as they come. And he's really up for this now. So let's head over and see if we can hoover a few drivers up through the gap here. They'll be coming to do the national anthem at the front, and the only driver I've found so far is Kevin, who I've already spoken to. I don't think I've ever spoken to two drivers, to one driver twice on a grid walk. But Lance, how's the track and how are you?
Yeah, good. It's fun. It's a lot of adrenaline around here. The wind picked up a little bit today, so can make the balance a little bit different, but yeah, really exciting track, a lot of fun to drive.
Where is it wind? Have you got a tailwind into 27?
Ahead into, tail into 27, yeah. So good grip in the first sector, a little trickier in the second sector.
All right, have a good one. Good stuff. And we'll have a quick... Nico, and all under control?
I hope we're going to have a good race for good measure, but we'll find out in a few seconds, won't we?
You're taking the mickey out of me for good measure now, aren't you? He says I say good measure a long time. Lando, feeling good? Feeling good? Sorry, you won't get a fine, I promise.
No, sorry. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling good.
All right, have a great race. He had a difficult qualifying, but unfortunately, Esteban, good luck. Your car looks super fast in these conditions.
Yeah, it's okay. We will see today.
All right, good stuff. And there's nothing like as bright. Lewis on his scooter, actually. But he doesn't like talking on the grid, so if a driver doesn't want to talk on the grid, I'm certainly not going to bother him. But Lewis scooting onto the grid, which is unusual, to say the least. And good luck tonight, Oscar. Great qualifying effort.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Good stuff. All right, so young Oscar Piastri there, who's George. How's it going?
I've just spoken to your colleagues.
Well, that's all right. You can talk to me as well. It's not illegal.
Yeah, absolutely. No, feeling good. Excited. It's always fun around here. Fast track, so going to be difficult to fight with the Red Bulls, but I'll be focusing on the Aston and Ferrari.
I hope you're buzzing after the race as you were after quali.
Let's see. Cheers.
Top man. All right, I think it's probably a good time to throw it back to Simon.
Well done, Martin. Nicely done out there as well, as we're getting ready now in around about 60 seconds time for the national anthem of Saudi Arabia as well. Charles Leclerc wasn't on the grid. He's now walking to it. He was in the back of the Ferrari motorhome, we noticed during it. But it's time now for the national anthem of Saudi Arabia as the drivers on the grid. They've got their little ice pack jackets on as well. They look like they're smuggling cocaine out of out onto the track as well. But here it is then, the Saudi Arabian national anthem as well. And if you're Edward Hunter, mute now.
Fourth today. Well, he's got a better opportunity.
Sainz walking back in. We're a bit short on that, actually. Sorry about that. As they come in. Sainz having to run to the grid, actually. He's very late back there as well. Both Ferrari drivers then weren't on the grid during the normal procedure. The grid girls and the grid boys out in force there in the middle of the track. And I think counting 1, 2, we've got Alonso, Sainz. They're all there. Here we go then. It's the national anthem then of Saudi Arabia. Let's head down to Simon then, hoovering up some of the drivers.
On the charge back, see if we can have a quick word with Alex. Alex, can we have a quick word? No, he's on the charge, right? We'll come back in a couple of moments' time. Let's just go to the sky pad. Karun Chandler's there.
We've seen 4 starts here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, despite only racing here twice before. This is a restart from 2021, the second restart, I should say. Esteban Ocon started at the front on that occasion. Max Verstappen saw this gap on the inside of Lewis Hamilton, went for the move, and put Lewis as the meat in the sandwich, which is really not where you want to be. Lewis made contact with Esteban Ocon, who went across the runoff area, and ended up with dirt on his tyres. But when they came out of that, because of that dirt on the tyres, Verstappen had better traction and drove past. Ocon gave him the racing room, and that respect is massively important for the entire grid today. Let's go on board with Charles Leclerc to illustrate that point. This was the other restart from 2021. Here he is alongside Perez. Now, unfortunately for him, that wall is not moving. That gap needs to stay that size for Leclerc to come through. But on that occasion, Perez carried on moving across to the left, and he didn't give Leclerc enough room. So with the wall so close, the drivers need to be respectful. Wheel-to-wheel racing is going to be super important for both these drivers. This was Verstappen versus Leclerc last year. If you overtake into the final corner, turn 27, there's a high chance you'll be
It's a long championship, a lot of things can happen, so I need to try and score as many points as I can. But I also know it's not entirely realistic to try and fight for the win, but I mean, I'm going to do the best I can to see where we end up.
We've got fantastic straight line speed though, and it is possible to overtake here, 3 DRS zones. You're going to give us an exciting race today?
Well, I'll try to move forward. We have, like I said, we have a quick car cornering wise, but also straight line speed. Just need to be a bit careful in the first few laps, you know, to just stay out of trouble.
Fernando thinks you'll be in P2 by lap 25 today.
Lap 25, okay. Try to do better.
And yet he is so rapid this weekend here. I mean, he's 4, 5 tenths quicker a lap than anybody else, you know, so let's watch it.
It's going to be intriguing actually to see whether he just stays there, keeps out of trouble and goes long and waits for everyone to pit. I mean, that's an option for him to get rid of the problems associated with passing, but he's got to make it through this turn 1. It's going to be, I think he's got to get past Charles Leclerc as well, so, you know, a bit more competitive car to get past, but yeah, it's going to be fun.
Okay, Karun scurried onto the grid from the sky pads with Toto Wolff.
Toto, George in a great position on the grid there. Is your race really about Fernando and Carlos? You're not really worried about Perez, are you?
No, I think they have so much space in ahead. It's between Ferrari, Aston Martin and ourselves.
And what about Lewis? He looked really downbeat yesterday. Has he changed the car? Is it going to be a bit better today?
Well, it's a new day. I think if our car is good in the race, which we will see, I think there's a lot of scope going forward.
So no real answer yet. You're about to find out then. Okay. Thank you.
Always nice to hear from Toto as the drone show kicks off as well. We are coming up to the start of the race. Apologies for the brief buffering we had a few moments ago as well. Apparently there was a lead loose, and because I've got COVID, I can't go into the grid.
Statistically, with a slow reaction time and also not such a good getaway, like in terms of feeding in the clutch. So therefore, Fernando has a chance, and we saw in Formula 2, it's the guy on the inside who took the lead, you know, and we saw that in the start that we replayed from last year as well. So there's grip on the inside.
To counter that, though, to come straight back at you, Nico, he's a street circuit specialist, isn't he, Sergio? This is what he loves.
That is true, but that's only afterwards, you know, there's first the start to do, which has nothing to do with the street circuit. No, therefore I give Fernando really a great chance at the start today.
I'm trying to think, is this the first ever Spanish-speaking front row in Formula 1? I don't know if we have a statistic on that.
I could see you frantically go through your phone to check, but
I did go
now, though.
Not now. But, I mean, Fernando, he's amazing. He's normally in the middle of the pack. He's staying out of trouble, but now he's got a front row start. He's going to want to lead.
And you just know, though, there's something behind the eyes at the moment, isn't there, with Fernando? I've not seen him this charged up for a long time.
He's about to be 42 years old, you know, and he's driving like a 25-year-old. And he's the absolute gladiator, and his greatest strength is the racing, you know, making every single lap count during a race. So it's going to be great.
It's the fastest street circuit in the world. Average speed.
It really is. As Simon was saying, right, we've got everything back operational. Jess and Josh, I hope you're both there. Final predictions then, going into lights out. Jess, who do you think will cause the first safety car? I thought I'll change the question then, throw it back around on you. Mute. Yep, there you go.
Keep doing it again. Oh, I'll keep it on mute for the rest of it now, I think. But I think Logan Sargent.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
First safety car. Josh, who do you think will cause the first safety car?
Either Logan Sargent or Nick de Vries. Nick de Vries because of his lack of practice in practice 3 and he's never raced here. This is his first race and first weekend of practice qualifying and racing at the Jeddah circuit. So either Nick de Vries or Logan Sargent, I think.
It's going to be a lot of fun, this race as well. 50 laps ahead of us. You heard Martin Brundle on the grid say, without a safety car or any intervention, this race should only take around about 1 hour 17 minutes to complete. That is true. It's one of the fastest street circuits on the calendar. It's the second longest track on the calendar as well, alongside Spa. Now we've got to see exactly what we're going to be dealing with. Perez on pole for the second time in his Formula 1 career. Back-to-back poles in Jeddah. Alonso starting second for the first time since the 2022 Canadian Grand Prix. And as you heard Crofty say, the first time in over 63 years that an Aston Martin's been on the front row as well. Magnussen actually in 13th position is going to have a very interesting day, because we were talking about it, Jess, weren't we? The Ferrari-powered Haas car, 13th out of position with Hülkenberg 10th, but he's going to have to try and sort of keep Bottas and Verstappen behind him, whilst also challenging Leclerc, Zhou and Hülkenberg for points. I mean, Magnussen can do it. It's getting a bit close for comfort.
It's going to be tough, because with the likes of Bottas and Verstappen, they're very experienced, and even though Bottas is in the Alfa Romeo, Bottas was in the Mercedes, so he does know how to race Jeddah well. And then, of course, we've got Verstappen, who is the reigning champion. He would have got pole if he didn't have that drive shaft problem, so he would climb his way through the field. So, and he had a nice battle with George Russell Magnussen in Imola, so he can hold his own, battling against other cars which are faster than him. But the DRS trains may help him in effect, 'cause it is hard to overtake at some parts of the track. But let's hope there's not much carnage. And we are about to get underway in just a few moments' time with the build-up before the formation lap, and it will be interesting to see what tyres people have gone on for as well, because we did look at the strategies before today, and the hards can last a bit longer around it. It's predicted a one stop by Pirelli, so but we may see some people do a two stop, and we could see safety cars.
Josh, if you could just check the YouTube stream and that we've still got sound, because apparently we don't on some things, so we'll double check that. But here he comes then, the 2020, see, that's COVID for you. The 2023 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix is next.
This evening, Max Verstappen, the reigning world champion, starts from 15th, Charles Leclerc from 12th, front row of Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso, and this is a track to be feared and respected.
It's a special track, not a lot of room for error.
This is going to be tricky.
I'm sorry, guys.
It really is incredibly fast.
It can get very tricky, very messy, very quickly.
There's going to be plenty of action, plenty of carnage.
That has got to be the craziest race I remember.
This track has just shown its teeth.
That was good. This is not good.
Sergio Perez on pole.
That was some awesome driving out there.
Anything is possible at this track.
Formula One heads to the coastal city of Jeddah alongside the Red Sea for the third time in 18 months. It's round 2 of the 2023 Formula One season, and this fantastic circuit is always an entertaining race. 27 turns in total, and this makes our second of 4 stops in the Middle East as we go around the world in the biggest calendar ever in Formula One history. 6.174 miles, 50 laps ahead of us. Also, you can expect lap records to come down with a 1:30 set by Lewis Hamilton. Pretty flat circuit, 2.48 metres. Top speed at over 207.9 miles an hour. In terms of action zones, you're spoiled for choice. 2021, Hamilton versus Verstappen right round the outside in the great penultimate race of the season title battle that saw them go into Abu Dhabi level on points. And how about in 2021 at turn 9, Fernando Alonso with a mega save coming through the back half of the track. Didn't stall the engine, didn't get collected by anybody. He starts second on the grid here today. And who can forget DRS Chicken, both in 2022 and 2021. Verstappen and Hamilton lining up the inside, and of course just running each other out of road. It's always an entertaining run. Pirelli have brought their middle tyre compounds here as well. It's the white hard C2, the yellow medium C3, and the red soft C4 tyre as well. And that's to deal with the demanding bumps here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Let's take a look at the starting grid, and I'll hand over to Jess.
So the starting grid for today's race was starting from the back. Sargent set a time which was lower than the 110%, but he was still able to race. He starts at the back. Lando Norris in 19th. We've got Nick De Vries starting 18th. Alexander Albon, not the best qualifying for him. He starts 17th. We've got Yuki Tsunoda in 16th, and Max Verstappen only starting 15th due to a gearbox issue. What would he do coming from the grid there? Valtteri Bottas starting 14th. Kevin Magnussen starting 13th. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get past a few cars. Charles Leclerc's got a 10-place grid penalty due to changing his components. He starts 13th and 11th. Nico Hulkenberg starts 10th. Pierre Gasly starts in 9th position. Oscar Piastri with his first Q3 appearance, he starts 8th. Lewis Hamilton, he starts in 7th position behind his teammate. Esteban Ocon with a great qualifying session yesterday, he starts 6th. Lance Stroll starts in 5th position. Carlos Sainz starts 4th. George Russell starts 3rd. He had a great qualifying session yesterday as well. And then we got the front row, we're all looking for Fernando Alonso, looking for his first win since 2012, and Sergio Perez will be starting in pole position, just like we saw last year in Jeddah, but the safety cars screwed him there as well. And we're in for an interesting race. Max Verstappen out of position, and we also got Charles Leclerc out of position as well. And Charles Leclerc starting 12th, not 13th. I do apologise, but yeah, it is going to be interesting, Joss T, to see how Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc are going to do outside of their normal positions.
Yes, it will be. We're just moments away from the start of the formation lap. The tyre blankets are about to come off. There is Fernando Alonso looking for his 100th career podium here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit for the 2023 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. The tyre blankets come off, and we're nearly to the start of the formation lap.
Lovely job, both of you. Thank you very much for that. If you're wondering why Jess took you through the grid there as well, it is because I'm trying to limit what I do today as I've got COVID. So if I cough and have to take off mute, it's just easier to stop things. But I seem to have got a second wind. I think I warmed up in the F2, and I think it's the adrenaline in the F1. I'm feeling like my old self. So absolutely fantastic. 2 now, 1 light as well. Perez will start on the right-hand side, and the left-hand side will be there as well, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Oh, what happened there with OBS? Something flashed there. Anyway, away we go on the parade lap then, and we've got a yellow flag briefly for Fernando Alonso, but they all get away, and Perez was a lightning start there. He's already at turn 1 for anybody else who's got anywhere near him. Brilliant.
Yeah, that was quite incredible to say the least. I think it is a high-speed track, and you will be expecting Perez to be slowing down a little bit because you're going to have cold tyres otherwise. And Josh T, you were looking at the tyre allocations before the race, and there were a few people that didn't have many tyres left available to use for the race, didn't they?
Yeah, Alonso and Stroll don't have any new hard or soft tyres, but I found out that they are doing what they did last time in Bahrain do a out lap and then immediately an in lap. Just get them 1 lap old tyres so they warm up quicker. But we'll go into the possible race strategies now. The quickest is a 1-stopper, medium start, then change to hards in lap 18 to 25. The second quickest is also a 1-stopper, but you start on the softs, and then around lap 13 to 20 you change to the hard and then go to the end of the race. The third quickest is a 1-stopper, and it's the medium tyres from lap 28 to lap 36. You change to the soft tyres then, and then the slowest, which I doubt anyone will do, is soft tyres until around lap 10 to lap 15, change to mediums there, and then lap 32 to 38, change to the soft tyres once more.
Perez just warming up his tyres then as well. He had to hold back for Fernando Alonso. He was already at turn 13 before he even got there. And if you look at the driver track, you can see how separated they all are. Perez is literally around about 5 to 6 seconds ahead of Alonso. They're going to have to literally back up. And that's going to be so long waiting for cold tyres on the grid.
As my driver tracker's not working on F1 feed at the moment, so I have to keep refreshing it to see if it works, because I've got it on my tablet at the moment.
It will on the lights. It will on lap 1. It will work then.
Oh, good. Well, we can see the tyres, actually. So the top 6, starting on the medium compounded tyres, as well as from P8 down to P11, we've got Piastri, Gasly, Hulkenberg and Joe. Also Madison, Bottas, Verstappen, Tsunoda, Albert, De Vries, they're starting on the mediums. Hamilton and Sargent gone for the hard. We've got 2 people going for the soft. That is Leclerc and Norris. I can see why Leclerc wants to start on the hards. He wants to get past a lot of people very, very quickly indeed. But obviously not surprised to see Perez, Alonso, Russell, Sainz, Stroll knock on the medium tyres. That's the best tyre to be on to start the race in.
Start procedure now very much well into the go procedure. Perez lines up on the grid. He is on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side is Fernando Alonso. He'll be on the inside line in towards turn number 1. Watch out for Max Verstappen. 15th on the grid as well. It's going to be a very interesting start. It feels like an eternity when you're on pole position waiting for the cars to line up on the grid. It feels literally like it is waiting for Christmas morning as well. Your right boot seems a little bit too tight as well. Your gloves don't feel like they're in the optimum position as well. You're panicking as well if you're going to get the perfect start. But then you just have to stay calm and watch the lights as well. It's round 2 of the 2023 Formula 1 season. We're at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. All the cars are lined up with 3, 4, 5 red lights on. Action in Jeddah. Good start from Sergio Perez, but Fernando Alonso going to have the inside running towards turn number 1, and Alonso leads. Alonso leads into turn 1. It's actually happened. Alonso leads. Russell into third. Hamilton trying to look up the inside. Stroll just about keeps ahead of Esteban Ocon. Down now. Russell into third. There's definitely in the middle of the pack. Yeah, that's Oscar Piastri, and Lando Norris is collected in as well. So that's going to have to be a safety car. Off the track there goes Nick De Vries as well, joining back in with Sargent too. And it's a clean start, but Fernando Alonso leads the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix.
The gap is 8 tenths already to Sergio Perez, so yeah, the lightning start going down the inside. We got Lance Stroll as well, trying to go down the inside of Carlos Sainz into the hairpin. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. The Aston Martin is absolutely flying here at Jeddah. We've got Alonso, that's in P1. Now Stroll is up to P4, absolutely electric. We've got a race control incident involving Fernando Alonso. Incorrect starting location. The Aston Martin hype train has gone downhill. Alonso might get a penalty. We know that Ocon had the penalty last time out, but Piastri on team radio, he's got damage. So yeah, it was a bit of his end plate that was lost there, but Alonso could get a 5-second penalty, and that is huge.
Unbelievable start, Josh.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm glad that I switched. And that is Carlos Sainz looking up the inside of Lance Stroll to get that position, and here it is. That is Oscar Piastri up the inside of Guan Yu Zhou, and here comes the 2 Hasses.
Side by side, coming down the start-finish straight as well. My goodness me, as Perez goes round the outside, trying to pass Alonso into turn 1. Hasn't worked out. Alonso holds the gap. Now, where's Verstappen? He's only made up into 13th place. Magnussen has made the better start. He's up into 10th position. There's debris, and a big bit of debris on the run into turn 4. I'm surprised there hasn't been a virtual safety car for that matter. Piastri pits, changing over wing. So a bad weekend in Bahrain turns into a bad weekend here, and it is under investigation, guys. So Alonso is under investigation.
5-second time penalty for Fernando Alonso.
Oh, no.
I don't believe it. He'll serve that in the pit lane, though, so if there's a safety car, it's not over yet for Fernando Alonso. As we lose picture briefly up in the commentary box, there's confirmation, and Megan Birch, as watching the race, was jumping for joy, and now she's hitting the table, I understand. What a bad start. But Alonso does lead at the moment, but he is in the incorrect location, so has a penalty.
Oscar Piastri pitted for a new front wing there, but he did also change tyres. He's now on the hard tyres, so he's gone from mediums to hard, and L plan is gone to L penalty.
That's great.
Nice
I like that. So, Alonso, however, is still setting the fastest sector times. DRS is going to be enabled soon. Here comes Max Verstappen, and he's already trying to get ahead of Hülkenberg. So the Haas cars did actually make the best start. We thought they might, as Alonso still leads ahead. Hasn't been told over the radio yet, I don't think, that he's got a penalty. The team might be appealing that one. You're allowed 3 laps to appeal it before it's confirmed into the books. So I hope Aston Martin are doing it. What's happened to Lando Norris? He's coming into the pit lane. So McLaren again having problems here as Lando Norris pits and scrolls down to 19th position.
Yeah, I wonder if he got pitted for damage as well.
Yeah, and that is a nice new graphic for DRS enabled as we go up towards turn 13. And let's hear from Alonso.
Okay, Fernando, so we have got a 5-second penalty at the pit stop for grid position at the start, so we'll bear that in mind. 5-second penalty at the first pit stop.
Yeah, as you were saying, Martin, just matter of fact there for Fernando.
Didn't hear what he said. Karun talked over him there as well. So DRS open. The first activation zone's coming out of turn 17. This is turn 13 as well. So this is where Verstappen will start putting. So he passed Tsunoda and Bottas on the opening lap. But Jess, that's what we're on about. Verstappen's going to struggle until the DRS kicks in. This is what we were talking about as well. The Red Bull isn't good in the midfield. We saw it back in Vettel's day as well. Fast car up front, not good in midfield racing.
And guess what other car has also had that problem when they were dominating? Mercedes.
Yeah.
There was Hamilton that was struggling a little bit, won the races a few seasons ago to get up the field. Bottas as well, but we've got the 2 Haas's who are, I think, working very well to get an 11th and 12th at the moment. Don't forget top 10 score point. Has Verstappen almost got past the Haas car. We got Perez down the inside into turn 1.
He
makes a move still. Look up for Fernando Alonso heading towards turn 2. That could have ended in absolute disaster then. But I think him being told he got the penalty has absolutely, it's been absolute nightmare for him. And new race leader, the new I love the new graphics, by the way, absolutely incredible. Shows you who the new race leader is as well. Russell still keeps his position up to 3rd place. Stroll has gained 1 position, so has Gasly. Let's have a look at the race start, and we can see
he's passed.
I think he was a little bit further forward, I think, Josh.
Yeah, well,
Too far left.
Yeah, he's not in the actual box, is he? So he's lined up outside of it. So Alonso wasn't actually in the grid slot, which is a disappointment because he got such a fantastic start. And actually, he was slower than Perez in the reaction time, but he was quicker in the second phase of the start down towards turn number 1. Alonso, and Perez now fast up in the race, so 1:34.829. Well, it's all
3
happening.
tenths quicker than Fernando Alonso in that lap. Alonso just said 1:35.1, Russell 1:35.3. Stroll is faster than Russell there, so I expect Stroll to go for me. Russell, I believe, falling out of DRS of Alonso, but let's look at Piastri's start then. He got fallen by the wayside from that start, because he started 8th. He's made a bit of contact with, I think it's one of the Alpines. I wonder if it was Esteban or Ocon. No, it was Gasly, I think. I'm not entirely sure. It's hard to tell, but Gasly. It's just not much space. It's similar to what we saw with Leclerc and Perez one year, but I think he actually got very, very lucky there. There's Charles Leclerc. He started 12th. He's up to 9th. So he had the best start out of anybody.
Well, this is even before the lights went out. Yeah. And this is Perez taking the lead away from Alonso, as Jess said, about up the inside with the DRS, and it was an easy pass in the end. Megan said, yay, in the lead, but why the penalty? Crying face. Incorrect grid position, Megs. Incorrect grid position. But it's not over yet. It's never over yet.
There could be a safety car. Every season since Jeddah came to F1, there's been at least one safety car. There was loads in 2021. I think there was only a few in 2022. So, yeah, it is still possible, by the way. Biggest gainer, by the way, Logan Sargent started at the back. He's up to 17th. And Verstappen up 4 now, up to 11th.
Yeah, and that
so
was...
he's got past the two Hasses. And we didn't see it.
This is fantastic stuff then coming through at the moment. Verstappen is up into P11 and he is battling with the two Haas cars. In fact, he's cleared them actually. So Zhou is his next target on the board. Lap 5 of 50. The battle for 7th between Hamilton, Gasly and Leclerc. The Mercedes, Alpine and Ferrari. And are we going to see any sort of drama between these two come through? Not sure yet. Taking a look here as well. Scott says Max may have also been told to dial back the settings slightly to take pressure off the drive shaft so not to have a repeat of yesterday. Absolutely, that could be a factor. And SHD says safety car will be the saviour. Russell struggling, but Hamilton struggling at the moment, having to break the toe as well to Gasly coming down towards turn 1. But did you see how close the battle for third is between Russell, Stroll and Sainz?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the set times as well. Russell's picked up the pace a bit again in sector 1 now. He was faster than Stroll by a few tenths, but it was sector 2 where he struggled a little bit. He lost a tenth on that lap, so I think obviously Russell's got a lot of work to do. I think Russell's found a bit more pace now. Maybe he was struggling with the tyre warm-up, which Mercedes has struggled a little bit through the past couple of years.
Max has made a mistake at turn 22, a big snap of oversteer. And he's kept it going though, but a small little mistake there from the world champion.
Yes.
Just taking a look now as well, the battle still for 7th. Hamilton ahead of Gasly and Leclerc. Leclerc on the soft compact tyres. Jess mentioned earlier on to pass as many people as possible earlier on in the race as well. SHT says Stroll not 100% healthy, but now he is fighting for a potential podium. Imagine what he'll be like when he's 100% fit. Round about Baku, he'll be electric at the front here. Lap 6 of 50 of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Perez leads, Alonso 2nd, Russell 3rd, Stroll 4th, Sainz 5th. Ocon is 6th, Hamilton 7th, Gasly 8th, Leclerc 9th. Zhou rounds out the top 10. Verstappen is 11th, followed by Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Bottas to 15. Then it's Albon, Sargent, De Vries, Piastri and Norris. The two McLarens having problems, and Alonso's right on the back of Perez. He's not letting him go as Hamilton has to go left and right down the straight. As also now going round the outside, Charles Leclerc making the move on Gasly. Will he look on the inside to Hamilton into turn 1? No. Gasly's still there alongside him. Ferrari goes into 8th position, Jess.
Yes, I think Lewis is struggling a little bit more. Ocon, I believe, has got past Hamilton as well. So it's just Leclerc that obviously he's chasing at the moment. Obviously Gasly in front as well. So Sainz, brilliant job. He's definitely helping out the Ferrari boys a little bit there as well. We're looking at the set times as well. We'll look at the replay. I believe that was with Sainz and Ocon. Or is it Sainz and Gasly? Oh no, it's Leclerc and Gasly.
It's Leclerc, Gasly, yeah. Fantastic move there, Josh, as well. Leclerc rose turn 1. He was battling there a lot with Verstappen last year. This is a track Charles likes.
Yeah, it really is, and tons of track limits coming through, so just putting them on the track limits trackers, my track limits tracker, so we can keep an eye if they get the black and white flag or the penalty, the 5-second penalty later on in the race. And that was Charles Leclerc going a bit, cutting the curb at turn 23 a little bit as well. On board with Lewis Hamilton looking back towards Charles Leclerc, coming back into turn 27. Is Charles Leclerc is a little bit too far back, but keep an eye going down into turn 1. Here comes Charles Leclerc, DRS open, going down towards turn 1.
So boring, this Formula 1. It's what I hate about it so much as well. Perez, fastest lap. Oh, and here comes Max Verstappen on the inside of Zhou Guanyu into turn 1, and a lovely move on the inside. And it's into the top 10 within 8 laps for Max Verstappen.
start straight incident involving Hamilton noted weaving on straight.
Yeah. I was thinking about that, Jess, because you're not allowed to move more than once, are you, to defend your position? He was moving left and right. Oh, he is.
It's the rules in league racing as well. We have it in our league. You're not allowed to do that as well. And the main reason why Hamilton is struggling, everyone around him is on the hard, is on the medium compounded tyres. The only ones that are on the hards are the ones at the back.
And he is.
So that's why he's losing a bit of grip. He's going to have a bit more grip going on the mediums. I still don't get why Hamilton started on those hard tyres. Maybe he wants to be fast in the middle, I don't know, but you never know, there could be safety cars. Leclerc, don't forget, he's on the soft compounded tyres. Alonso, team radio.
Plan A.
Yeah, I'm trying, mate, I'm trying.
Even though he's plan A at the moment, and I'm trying as well, so it looks like it could still be the possibility. And Josh was correct, it's under investigation now, Hamilton weaving on the straight, so we will keep our eyes peeled on that, and Josh will be able to tell us immediately if he'll get a penalty, presumably 5 seconds, but I wonder if it'll matter as Leclerc looks on the inside. That's so late, Jess, but he's going to get the DRS out the last corner.
No more DRS chicken. No more DRS chicken because they moved the DRS zone 4 this weekend. Charles Leclerc is probably going to use that extra grip to get past Hamilton into turn 1. Down the left-hand side, you can see Leclerc had no trouble at all. Lewis did not defend that. Leclerc had the fresher rubber, the softer rubber, and he's up into 7. Great comeback from Charles Leclerc because he was starting near the back, and now he's up to 11. And black and white flag. Is that for Lewis?
Yeah, Josh?
Yep, that's for the weaving on straight is the black and white flag, so no penalty there, and Kevin Magnussen into the pit lane and comes out in front of Oscar Piastri.
So both McLarens having trouble then, as we noticed earlier on as well. I'm just having a look. Alonso, I think, is still trying to stay on plan A in this battle at the moment. Stroll 4th, Sainz 5th. This is the battle that they're staying on together as they come back through. Sarah says, Dad says, nice commentary, love it, thank you very much. The grip sucks on this tyre, says Hamilton. So he's on the hard, isn't he? So of course it's going to suck because we're watching track temperature 31 degrees. It's too hot for the hards.
Yeah, Sainz got a little loose on the apex of turn 23 when he was on the throttle coming out of the corner. Got very, very loose. Did what Leclerc did a couple of laps ago, but a little bit worse. And here is that's Max Verstappen on Pierre Gasly. What a move. I would love to see a replay. Max Verstappen into 9th. Incredible.
Dive bomb and a half into turn 27, but now he's going to have Gasly right behind him as well. He's looking in the rear view mirror as he keeps to the left-hand side of the track. Does Gasly get ahead? I don't think he will. That Red Bull's got awesome grunt power. And there's Stroll 4th with Sainz in 5th, 8 tenths between them. And Alonso is still there as Bottas comes into the pit lane as well. But Alonso's now just this second, 1.2 seconds back from Perez.
Yes, so Perez is definitely putting up the pressure. He set the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:34.255. Purple in the first sector as well with a 34.5, 4 tenths quicker than Fernando Alonso, the only other person in the 34s in the first sector. And Verstappen already is chasing down Lewis Hamilton.
Here we go.
And when did we last see that battle? 2021. I hope it doesn't end in tears.
Here we go again then. The gap between them is 1 second exactly. And the last time they raced together in Jeddah, wheel to wheel, it ended with Hamilton losing part of his front wing and Verstappen being called a cheat and a liar. And hopefully it's not going to happen this time, but he is still closing him down. And I think Max, even at the moment, looking a little bit unsure coming to the first couple of corners there. The car didn't seem to stick as much as it wanted to. Just a radio? No radio. Thought we were going to hear from Hulkenberg there. Perez fastest lap, 1:34.106. Here's the radio with Alonso.
So Fernando, the hard is not looking great so far, so we'll be looking at extending.
So maybe.
Yeah, I thought we were going to hear from Alonso on the radio. It flashed up on the monitor. SHT asks, what's the current gap between Alonso and Russell? At the moment, it is around about 6 seconds, 6.2 seconds between Alonso and Russell as things stand.
And Stroll is pretty much struggling on pace because he was about 8/10 a moment ago. Now he's around about 1.5 seconds.
Bernie Collins.
There's a safety car now, and the reaction to that is safety car window open. The drivers are starting to be told that, and that means if there's a safety car, you come in, and the guys will be ready, and we'll get you out as quickly as we can.
But also
Bernie Collins there just telling us about the fact that it's the safety car window that's opened, and that's why we're going to expect to see the drivers try and go a little bit longer here. It's a 100% chance of safety car in Saudi Arabia. We've had at least, it's been, 4 in 2021, 1 last year, so it's not always that bad. But look at this, Verstappen's got the DRS on Lewis Hamilton, and it's starting to feel a bit deja vu.
Team radio.
Right is our primary concern.
After the lockup.
And here what that was is the tyres, they're graining a bit too much. And look, it's still coming down to turn 27. This time it's Rolls reverse. Hamilton's ahead of Verstappen this time. Hamilton still blocks him. I don't believe it. It's still the same mind games 2 years later. Hamilton blocking Verstappen coming into turn 27. Max will have the DRS coming down towards turn number 1. Opens up. Down now. The kilometre-long back straight away towards turn number 1. Pulls to the inside line. Hamilton can't defend. Verstappen up to 8th after 12 laps.
Look at that Red Bull. I mean, it's just far from a straight line. I think I remember someone saying in the chat or on the Sky Sports F1, I think it was going to be lap 25 for Verstappen to get top 5, I think, and he's already in 8th place, and he's going to chase down Leclerc. So, and I think Leclerc's soft tyres are probably going to die soon anyway as well. Joe's pitted, so is Hulkenberg, and Josh T. Let's look at the replay.
Yeah, here is Max Verstappen going down the inside of Lewis Hamilton, down into turn 1. Easy from Max Verstappen, and going back to what you were talking about earlier with safety cars and virtual safety cars, we had 4 safety cars / virtual safety cars in 2021 and 2 last year, and I believe last year was 1 safety car and 1 virtual safety car.
This is Leclerc closing down on Esteban Ocon for 6th position. If you're watching along with us or listening on USRN, lap 12 of 50, and Leclerc is hunting him down. The pit window is open for those on the soft compound tyres. That is Charles Leclerc to pit between lap 13 and 20, but I don't think he will, Josh, because his tyres look great. He's right behind Ocon.
Yeah, current tyre soft, the pit window now open, lap 13, 250, and here is the Ferrari closing down. This would be on the Ocon. Esteban Ocon goes round the outside, does Charles Leclerc, and gets it done before the braking zone into turn 1.
Fantastic, Jess. This is good stuff from Leclerc. He's already up into 6th position. Ferrari thinking about a stop, and it will be for Charles Leclerc if he comes in.
Yes, medium tyres, I believe, for Charles Leclerc. So I thought he'll be going on hard to do a 1-stop, but he thinks the 1-stop is not viable. So I wonder what plan Ferrari is thinking about in their back pocket at the moment. Don't forget, Charles Leclerc had a DNF last time out in Bahrain. Does not want a repeat of that, and I have to say, his pace is looking a lot better. Team ready for Alonso.
It feels good. We can keep going.
That's good from Alonso, saying that he's happy that he can keep going the tyres. I think he just found a second breath of life with those medium tyres. So, yeah, even though he's slower than Perez at the moment, he's happy to stay out a bit longer, and that's good if you're hoping for a safety car. So, Alonso, just happy out there. I don't think he's that bold if he doesn't get the win, but Sainz has been told to box.
It's Sainz
so
coming in.
2 starts for Sainz.
That's a surprise on medium compound tyre when he can go longer. That is a big surprise there.
It's probably to get Leclerc in front so they don't have a battle, because Leclerc is 4.2 seconds behind, and there's Verstappen looking in at Ocon. He's going to try around the inside on the exit of turn 27, but he's going to get him with the DRS, and Stroll comes into the pit lane, but here comes Max Verstappen, DRS open, going down into turn 1.
Sainz does not come in. Sainz does not come in, even though he was told to box. That is interesting. As Verstappen now up into 6th position. Stroll.
Hard tyres.
Hard compounded tyres for Lance Stroll then.
Good stop from Lance Stroll. A 2.9 could have been better, but a reasonably good stop. And there's going to be a battle on the exit of things like not quite with Alexander Albon and Lance Stroll. Not quite. I thought he would have been closer than that, but Alexander Albon going to see if he can try and overtake while
Just,
the tyres get up to temp.
Just quickly coming in as well. Can Alonso realistically overtake Perez now or hope for a safety car? So Suarez, I think he's going to have to hope for a safety car and take that 5-second penalty then. Ed says, looks like the McLaren Nemo curse continues in Saudi Arabia. It does, Ed. Your Twitter account is going to go mad now for that one. And he also says, when Jess was praising the graphics here, I thought she was on about the stream, Josh. Our coverage, our graphics over here, but no, F1's graphics are
No,
fancy.
it was the Sky Sports F1 one.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
don't worry, Josh. Yes, your graphics are still great.
Oh,
Yeah, they are.
Thank you. Put a lot of
It's
work.
from F1 TV, some of it as well, but
Yeah.
the graphics with the background as well, and the titles look very nice.
Yeah, they don't count for the team. Yeah, but yeah, we've got the...
They've been told on stream before, Josh.
Yeah, T-feed, yeah. But we just moved it around a bit this year, so it looks a bit fancier compared to last year's blue graphic
It does.
background. And it changes it week on week, so it just makes it easier for me as well. Now, watching on into the pit lane comes Gasly.
Oh, is that Gasly? Yeah.
It's Gasly. I found out about the mini sectors. You can toggle the mini sectors on the T feed by doing /mini sectors in chat, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Ah.
I'll be pressing that button on the laptop then, not on the stream PC, because I don't want to lose anything from USON or YouTube at the moment as well. So that's Gasly then coming back out onto the track, down in 14th position. As things stand, it's lap 15 of 50 of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. We're having our first pit stops for people on the alternative tyre, but no sign at the moment of anybody else coming in, and Perez is starting to walk away with this. He's now 4.6 seconds clear of Fernando Alonso. There's your race leader, Sergio Perez now. Is he coming in? Oh, he clipped the line there. But he continues on to start the 17th lap. Or is it the 16th? It's the 16th.
16th. Sainz been told to box again. Will he box this time or will he ignore his engineer? I don't know, but he has been told to box. Sainz is in.
Yeah. Surprised they haven't pit Leclerc, considering he was on the soft compound tyre. They've decided to pit Sainz, who was out there on the mediums. And he comes.
George
he's a
Russell's
two.
staying out.
Hard compound tyres for Ferrari. That's a brave call. Can they switch them on with a 2.7 seconds? Russell takes third place.
Yeah, George Russell on his team radio has just said they're going to be staying out. Perez to gap to Alonso is exactly 5 seconds, and there is Sainz and Tsunoda. Tsunoda gets out in front at the pit exit line.
Just having a look at that Ferrari. Something didn't sit well with me when it came out there over the pit lane. Something looks a bit off to me, but it looks good at racing speed. There's Stroll, who's dropped down to 10th position after his pit stop onto the hard compound tyre. And now we're riding with...
Verstappen 8 tenths behind Leclerc now, so he's chasing down Leclerc for 4th place.
Within 16 laps, he's in the top 5.
Wow. Can we just go home? Can we just end the watch along here, please?
Tell you what, my pick of winners getting a little bit safe at the moment.
Yeah, Verstappen is in 5th. I won't be surprised if he goes on to win the thing. He's still yet to stop.
He's got the DRS this time on Charles Leclerc. Leclerc's going to go defensive. Verstappen backs out. They're still playing the DRS chicken because Verstappen wants it at the last corner. It hasn't changed. Leclerc, box. Hopefully, yeah, Max notices and keeps going. So they've pitted him a lap later. Wrong decision there, in my opinion, because now they're going to have him on the medium compound tyre in front of Sainz, which doesn't help Sainz.
Hards.
Yeah, it's Hards for him too, okay. Well, now the question is, where is Sainz? He's coming down the start-finish straight now. Ocon pits too. So is Leclerc going to get out of the pit lane before Sainz comes into turn 1? There's Leclerc. Sainz, I think, has already passed.
Yeah, that's Lance Stroll, I think, battling with Albon.
So the undercut hasn't worked for Leclerc. The overcut has worked for Carlos Sainz. He's up to P7. Leclerc down to 8. Both on hard compound tyres now to the end of the race. That's backfired slightly.
Apparently, Lance Stroll has a problem. I've just been listening to his team radio. I'm going to listen to it again. I can't figure out what the engineer says at the start. But or Lance Stroll says at the start, but the engineer coming back saying, "Yeah, Lance, we know, we're monitoring it."
Someone's
that
off.
could be Stroll.
Someone's off in sector 2.
Yeah, it's Stroll.
Oh
Stroll.
no!
It's Stroll.
Lance Stroll has come to a cropper and he's on the radio. Josh has got it.
Stop the car. Lance, stop the car. Stop on track.
And this will be
Could
the
be a
safety car.
VSC.
Well, it depends on where he stopped. Where is he? Exit at turn 13. This could be a virtual safety car, but this is Carlos saying it, and this is Charlotte. Lance Stroll is out of the race. Sorry, that's COVID for you. A bit of brain freeze.
Lance Stroll.
Safety car,
was
full
doing
safety
very well.
car.
Oh wow!
Safety car, full safety car.
The full safety
that's
car.
the Ferraris.
But it's perfect for Fernando Alonso. Can he serve that
And
5?
Verstappen.
Well, hang on a minute. Mike Crack's now looking, thinking this has actually screwed him more because can you serve 5-second time penalties in the pit lane?
I know you can on the game.
Why is the full safety car out when the car's way behind the barrier? Why has Niles Vittix put the safety
But
car out
the
for
brakes
that?
on fire because they're fire extinguishing the brake.
That's probably why then.
So why has the full safety car been put when the car's behind the barrier? They could easily... That was yellow flags. Why is the... I don't know why Niels Rittick, the race director...
I thought it would be a VSC.
He's put the full safety... Well, it's changed the complexion of the race. There's into the pit lane, De Vries, they're all coming in now as well. And this is Perez, who's going to get a free pit stop. Because look, time lost under the virtual safety car, full safety car, is only 11 seconds. So Perez will get this perfectly. It's also good news for Verstappen. This helps him out too to get back in the race.
Yeah, Max Verstappen's engineer said over the radio, if it is safety car or virtual safety car, we are pitting.
So
there we go. Russell's been told to box as well. So everyone who hasn't stopped is going in, same as Perez as well.
Well, I've got my stopwatch to see if Fernando Alonso does indeed serve his 5-second time penalty. Here it comes. Oh, look, they're getting ready to put on the hard compound tyres. Well, this is amazing stuff. It's changed the complexion of the Grand Prix with Stroll being out of it. Who's now going to be in a good position? Here comes Perez. He'll get a free pit stop. And Verstappen box.
Red forward double stacking.
2.7 seconds. Okay, yeah, and here comes Fernando Alonso. So I've got my stopwatch ready. Does he serve the 5 seconds now? In he comes, and full stop now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now! And this is perfect because Russell's in 2. With Lance Stroll stopping on the track, it's kept Fernando Alonso in the Grand Prix and keeps him in second position because Russell has just boxed behind him. So Alonso back to second, and we are good to the end of the race. Alonso is back in.
Megan's going to be so happy with this.
And Verstappen pits 2, Hamilton in as well, so they're all coming in now.
Ooh, not a good pit stop from Lewis, 3.1.
Yeah, and that's Max going wide at 1 on the hard compound tyre. Is Max got a problem or is he slowing? Is he
He's
keeping
slowing down
to the Delta?
No, or is it Delta, because the Perez hasn't caught the safety car yet.
Sargent stayed out, yeah, and he's just coming to the pit lane. Ed's right, Sargent's going to be in P10. Now he goes down, yeah.
Sargent pit.
11th. You're close.
Well, now there we go, he's dropping now. Well, this is changed the complexion of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. The safety car out once again. And now, with 32 laps to go, we're going to be in for it. But why is the safety car out? That's the question. Considering Stroll's car's right behind the barrier. Let's take a listen. Smoke. Look, the engine's blown.
Engine. Oh no. I wonder now, Josh, will that be worrying Fernando Alonso?
Yeah, I think you're right. And now we know why it's a full safety car, because they want to check if there's oil out on the track.
That makes a lot of sense.
So now we know why. And there's Fernando Alonso back in P2. Well, Megan's happy.
Good. I'm glad she's still watching the Grand Prix, even if she's ill. So get better soon, Megan.
So, does Fernando Alonso stand a chance of winning his first race since Spain 2013?
Now he does.
thing is, he nailed Perez on the first start, and now we know how crazy Jeddah restarts are. They go right to the line.
And don't forget, we got Verstappen in this as well.
I told everybody, yes, Bahrain may have been boring and a disappointment, but do not worry, because Formula One comes alive. And it's come alive in Jeddah. And what's happening with the Ferrari? He was looking, this is Sainz, and he was looking down in the cockpit for some reason.
It doesn't sound that good, does it?
No, he's chugging a bit. There we go, he's back up now. He was looking down at something in the cockpit, wasn't he? He was just trying to look at something.
No, it can't be Delta, couldn't it? Because he's caught up to the safety car.
Yeah. Just take a look at the chat quickly then. Oh no, Lance from SHT. Tell Lance to park it in the middle of the road like a lion.
Safety car's ending.
Right, here we go. This is going to be fun now. All eyes at who's going to be quick on the restart. I'm not sure if you're actually allowed to serve a 5-second penalty on the safety car, but hey, if Codemaster says it's okay. Nothing's come up on the monitor, so maybe they've changed that rule coming into this year.
Yeah, because you weren't able to do that, I think, before. Here is Norris.
Oh, well. Oh, what a problem. McLaren are having a nightmare.
Oh, no. So get away from Lando Norris there.
They're having a nightmare season, McLaren.
We were talking about it, I think, was it either free practice or qualifying, about where Lando Norris could go.
Yeah.
If McLaren didn't pull the weight. And one of the options you were talking about was Aston Martin. Would he pair with Fernando Alonso?
Funny you said that, because then Max Verstappen did an interview last night saying who his dream team would be. Team principal Christian Horner, driver number 1 Fernando Alonso, driver number 2 Lando Norris. So, yeah, Max agreed, and I agree with Max on that one.
Verstappen and Norris are good friends anyway. Like, replay Charles Leclerc.
Is there a problem?
What's happened there?
The size of problem he's got.
Try to push from safety car line 1 for Hamilton. He just beat it.
Xavi, you need to tell me that before.
Oh, well.
Oh, well, that's Ferrari for you, Josh.
So you can.
Well, this is... I don't know why Ferrari's strategy department weren't sacked over the winter break and didn't come in. I really don't, because...
Well, quite a few were hired from Bonotto, don't forget, and then some of them are still there.
Ferrari is back again with their strategy, says SHT.
That is true.
Tell you what, despite the fact I'm still feeling a little bit of the COVID effects, the adrenaline's pumping in right now.
I'm not noticing you struggling at all, Josh. You are doing very well.
I'm amazing myself, Jess, to be fair. I really am. And let's go again then. So, Perez will take them to a restart. Alonso's right there. Green flag, race on. But when will Perez hit the accelerator? Look at Leclerc. He's already going to go. Sainz too, all ready to go. Away we go. And Russell's got the jump on Alonso as well, down towards turn number 1. Alonso's going to have to go defensive. And yeah, he's going to go defensive. Russell around the outside. No, doesn't do it, but does Alonso miss the apex of 1? Yes, picks it up for 2. And the 2 Alpines side by side. Gasly right around the outside. Yeah, we did it with Alonso. Ferrari.
Sargent, lock up, turn 1.
And Ferrari are having to warm up their tyres as well with Leclerc and Sainz. And everyone taking a little bit too much. Gasly's having trouble. He's holding out Magnussen and Hülkenberg now as well. Perez leads, Alonso 2nd, Russell 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Sainz in 5th. Then it's Hamilton, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Ocon, Gasly in the top 10 as we head in towards turn 13. So everyone got a good restart there. Nobody was unexpected. But Max Verstappen, I was quite surprised. Usually he's the king of those restarts. Jesse was a bit left behind there.
I was expecting for Verstappen to get past Russell quite comfortably due to the fact he set the fastest lap. But Russell is out of DRS, don't forget. So is his next opportunity to do that now. We're riding on board with the helicam between George Russell and Verstappen now. Now, I'm looking at the tyres that Lewis has gone on to. He's obviously started on the hards. He's got screwed in that safety car, by the way, because he's on the medium tyres. I wonder how many... Josh T, can you have a look at this? Has Lewis got only 1 set of hards left, which was what he raced on at the start?
Well, why you do that? Because Verstappen's getting very close to Russell on the way down towards turn number 1. Russell might have to go a little bit defensive, but look at that as well. Hamilton versus Sainz having a battle. Hamilton to the outside line into turn 1. Sainz defends on the inside and keeps the position, but he too moved under braking down the straights as... That's Hamilton! Hamilton passing Sainz around the outside at turn 3 and 4. And Sainz trying to come back on the inside. Hamilton is in great racing strikes.
He's like those medium, isn't he? He was struggling on those hards, but now his mediums are definitely coming to life. He's now got to try and get past Max Verstappen once again then. He's now within a second of Verstappen, and now he's going to be within DRS very, very soon. So this is going to repeat once again, but the other way around. Perez is already 2.6 ahead of Fernando Alonso. Here comes Lewis Hamilton then, around the outside this time, in towards T1. We've got Carlos Sainz covering on the inside, goes a bit wide. Lewis capitalises it on that, and he says, thank you very much, that's my position there. Done and dusted. So well done to Lewis there. Don't forget, I believe he's still under investigation about the weaving on the start line on lap 1. But at the moment...
was a black and white flag.
Oh, it was a black and white flag. Okay, so if he gets another warning for that, then he gets a time penalty, I believe. So he's got to be careful with that. Verstappen then, still on the back of George Russell, using the toe on this straight here. Not being able to get past just yet. But final corner, Verstappen's going to have the DRS, so that's why he's not going to get past yet. And Verstappen is on a Mercedes sandwich right now.
Can he get it?
You can see, Josh...
He's going to go for it very late. Oh, I thought he was going to go for it. He's eyeing
Straight
up
line
Russell.
speed from George is absolutely perfect, I think, at the moment. I think Verstappen has more cornering speed than George Russell, whereas George has got really good straight line speed. That is helping him to stay in P3, and that is crucial for a track like this.
What a fantastic race this is turning out to be. If you didn't like Bahrain, I hope you're certainly liking Saudi Arabia. A great race, and there's already carbon fibre everywhere as Perez, who is 3.6 seconds ahead of Alonso, runs over a bit of the debris at the exit of turn 4, but everyone is, as we hear from Fernando.
Yeah, tyres, they feel very good. I like this tyre.
Copy, mate, copy.
He likes these.
Fernando just is in a very good mood this season, isn't he? He's been pushing like mad. He was saying, I really like this car, I really like this drive, and he's just having fun.
Yeah, I think it's a shame to see him being behind Paris still, because I think, as an Aston Martin fan, I think we're just disappointed that they're not in P2 and not in P1. I think that's what our expectations are this season, even if Aston Martin did rubbish last season. This goes to show how much hard work the Aston Martin team have put together. Verstappen's going to get another look this time, down the left-hand side, and he gets past George Russell. Good move.
But now Russell's going to have the DRS at the exit of turn 27 down towards T number 1. Perez fastest lap. That's about to change, I reckon, as Verstappen crosses the line. No, it doesn't. 1:33.464 for Perez then. Fastest lap. And that Red Bull has got so much power. He was able to comfortably keep ahead of Russell in towards turn number 1. Ocon's past Sonoda for 8th.
Yes, so at the moment, Gasly doing well, Sonoda doing well as well. Ocon losing a few places at the start, but he's definitely controlling the restart at the moment in 8th position. The Williams are doing well, up 4th and 6th respectively, Albon and Sargent, so they're having good race pace, by the way. And our prediction as to who calls the first safety car has not come true. I said Logan Sargent, Josh T said Nick De Vries. None of those have caused the safety car. Sargent is doing very well, and it was Stroll that caused the first safety car. So
maybe we
both
should.
of us got it wrong.
Yeah, maybe we should go back to the 2022 Lance Stroll thoughts, because then probably we would have said
we would have gone Lance Stroll.
But here is Verstappen closing on Fernando Alonso. Is he going to have a look going up towards turn 27, or is he going to wait until he has the DRS going into turn 1 so there isn't DRS? Let's have a look. He opens his DRS now.
Max is so much faster than Alonso as well, down towards turn number 1. He pulls the inside line down to T27. He can't get ahead of Fernando though. He backed out of it. Once they know he's there, it will be a turn 1 manoeuvre as well. Perez is 5.6 seconds up the road and continuing to set the fastest laps of the race. Here comes Max Verstappen then, down the inside towards turn number 1 and comfortably goes into 2nd position. My pick a winner is still safe. He might get Perez. Wow.
Verstappen from 15th on the grid. No one has won from 15th on the grid before. The highest that anyone has won from was, I believe, second or third place.
Is this for Sainz, Josh?
Yep, we've run straight.
Oh, so same thing as Hamilton then. The black and white flag.
Comically enough, in Singapore, Fernando Alonso won from 15th in 2008, but he had a little help from his teammates.
We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. A little help from his teammate causing a safety car. That's interesting. Didn't the same thing just happen?
Lewis Hamilton's gained a lot of time on Russell that lap. 9 tenths he's gained over 3 laps.
Closing in once again as the battles continue. We are halfway in the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Perez leads with Max Verstappen in second position. The prediction that Max would be inside the top 3 within the first 25 laps has come true. He is second and is beginning to hunt down Sergio Perez. Well,
I told you that Max will be on course to be winning this race, and not many people believe me, and showed that he had the pace on the car as well. And with Max in the clear air, Edward has actually raised a very good point in chat. Perez is either going to be overtaken or made to move aside. Remember what happened in Brazil last year? Oh, I hope we don't get a repeat of that. Fernando Alonso, though, is still right on the back of Verstappen.
Yeah,
so he's still got the pace. He's turned it up to an 11, it seems like, Josh.
Yep, and Alonso will try and keep in that position, although whatever happened... Oh, hello, Toto Wolff watching on. Let's have a listen to Bernie Collins.
Out in that by having gone too early. The big winner, actually, Tsunoda, P10. He was up in P8, now he's lost 2 positions since that. But he started way down P16 on the grid, so without the car pace, just waiting for the safety car, has made it into that top 10, and looking like he could hold on to that position, actually. You've got a few unusual other things happening. Piastri stayed out under the safety car on that hard. He's already done 24 laps, with 24 more to go, so that's going to be a very long stint. And the comms that we heard from Alonso on these tyres feel good, that was in response to his engineer saying, no worries on life, push to the end.
Thank you, Bernie. So it's all go for Fernando Alonso. He is good to the end of the race. Oh, Albon.
Yeah.
Oh my God, brake failure.
Oh no!
No! Alexander Albon could be out the race with a brake failure. Oh no, after he got points in Bahrain, we could see another safety car.
He's still going on the circuit right now. Here he is, like he's gone wide at turn 22 as well. Albon desperately trying to slow the car down with that, but he's still going to accelerate or he's in a danger. Sargent's going to pass him as well for 13th position, and he takes it now. But how is he going to brake for turn 27? This is one of the hardest points of the track. Comes off the throttle.
He's gonna lift and coast, Josh. That's what he's gonna do. I think Zhou Guan Yu has got past him as well. I wonder if Sargent, Albon stayed out.
Yeah. That's brave.
It must not be that bad. He might be overreacting.
He's pulled out of the way of everybody.
No, he's slowing down. He's slowing down.
And he's going to let Piastri.
Oh, right, okay. I thought he was slowing down to go out the race then, but no.
Possibly, but keeping an eye on him. He has,
No, it's got engine failure as well.
Gearbox, yeah. Cryo 11, yeah, he's out.
Oh, what a shame for Alex Albon. It was looking so good for Williams. Both gained places off the start. And look at the Williams garage in disbelief. What a shame.
Is this going to trigger another safety car? That's the question. If he has to stop out on the track.
Could be that if people have some mediums left, could they go on a set of mediums until the end of the race?
Yeah, although 25 to go, it's half the race still, so to make it that long, we saw them struggle to begin with, but Hamilton seems to be wanting to take the mediums to the end of the race, so yeah, agree with you, Jess. If anyone's got them left, may as well come in and have a pit stop. Hamilton chasing down Russell, though, for 4th and 5th position.
Yes, I think it's going to be a reminder of Rosberg versus Hamilton in 2014. But we know that these two have had very good respect in the past, but in Brazil, they were told to race. They were told to race, and that's what they're going to do here. But this is where we're actually going to see them race properly, because Hamilton was struggling in Brazil, whereas Russell was flying, where it seems to me to be on the other way around. I predicted, actually, Lewis was going to get in the top 5, so my prediction could be coming true. I can't remember if I predicted Lewis 4th or 5th, but I'm not entirely sure. But Lewis seems more confident on the mediums. seems to be hard is very bad for Mercedes at the moment.
Albon's just coming around turn 26 and 27 as well, Josh.
Message which I haven't seen in a while for track limits. Car 77, time 138.366 will be reinstated.
Oh, wow.
Never heard that before.
What's going on with Hamilton's car? I think the audio was out of sync there.
He's slowing down, like, Russell's pulling away.
Yeah, I think he had a misfire through one of the corners, Jess, because the engine sounded like it bogged down, and here's Albon into the pit lane to retire. Well done for getting it back, though, Alexander Albon, and not stopping on the track and causing a full safety car.
I think Alex is not like that, is he?
In my opinion, and I think many other fans' opinion, he shouldn't have completed the next lap. He should have.
Yeah.
He should have boxed the lap before.
I think he was too quick, though, wasn't he? He would have been speeding in the pit lane. Look, he's crawling in. Does he get it stopped? Well, the brakes must be working somehow. King Kong.
But yeah, I think it must be gearbox. But I think, because I think this is going to be their second gearbox when they go to Australia, so no penalty.
Yeah, out of 3. King Kong says, my money's on Hamilton top 3. It looks likely, unless Russell radio.
Russell.
Alonso with a 5-second penalty here. Let's fight later, but let's manage to tie it a little bit now. Alonso served his penalty at the stop. Again, informed.
So
they didn't keep him informed. That is annoying.
That's a bit annoying for Mercedes.
Yeah, not telling your driver that you had a penalty.
So he could have pushed.
Served. Yeah, he could have. Oh no! So he was holding back a lot. What's the gap?
I wonder if he's going to push now. That's probably why he's increasing the gap to Hamilton.
Yeah, gap to Hamilton's now over a second. Josh.
And also the same lap time, the same lap. So lap 28, Zoe got a lap time deleted for lap 22. So it got deleted 6 laps after, as Perez sets a new fastest lap, 132.726, but Verstappen immediately takes it away from him to 132.670, and Alonso 133.988.
Say, Logan Sargent having another good race, touchwood, at the moment. In P13, I believe he was in P13 in Bahrain, so his race pace must be very good around here. He has raced here last year, didn't go quite so well, I'm not going to mention that much. He does have the pace on Hulkenberg though, he's got the DRS. I don't think he's going to get past him yet though, you never know. We've got Hulkenberg trying to defend on the inside, he covers Sargent off quite nicely.
Hulkenberg went
almost
wide.
going off the road. We've got Zhou Guanyu also in this. We've got Sargent up the right-hand side then, as we head towards turn 3 and 4. Hulkenberg, great defending from him, and this is what we like to see, a comeback of dreams for Nico. He was the super sub for 2 years, and now he's actually on a race car. And Sargent is definitely holding his own between himself and Hulkenberg. Sargent, who has never raced a Grand Prix before Bahrain, and is now battling with the likes of Hulkenberg and Zhou Guanyu.
Yeah, Logan Sargent backed off going into turn 4. He thought it was way too risky. I agree. Sometimes it depends. Do you want to risk it going into turn 4? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But for 12th position, I wouldn't. Let's keep an eye on his Verstappen going into turn 27 in the meantime. But keep an eye on Logan Sargent and Nico Hulkenberg.
The battle is raging here. 20 laps to go as well out of the 50. And let's go to James Vowles on the pit wall.
A few laps ago, an ability to slow the car, to break the car. Discs look okay, integrity system looks okay. We need to understand what's happened, but clearly frustrating for him. That was a quick car here today.
So is that the brake-by-wire, this sort of electronic system, James, then, rather than anything sort of physical?
Unsure as of yet. All I can really tell you is that the discs are still responding with temperature, so it's just a question of where else in the system we had a problem.
And James, Logan Sargent, we're watching the battle currently. He's getting his elbows out there against Nico Hulkenberg and doing a fine job, but not quite getting past his man just yet.
No, not yet, but that sort of middle tyre, the medium, is performing very, very well. You certainly, earlier stints, you would have heard Lewis, I think, complaining of it. definitely Logan was complaining of it as well. It's a tough tyre, but he'll make it to the end from here. We've got 20 to go, and it's just a good tyre by comparison. So I think you'll just see, given the 7 laps difference between the two, Logan should be able to make his way through. How high he can go? Well, points are on the card today if he gets it all right.
And any concern with that brake issue on the other car?
Without knowing fully what it is, yes. But obviously over the next probably 5-10 minutes we'll have a much better understanding of what happened.
James, thanks ever so much indeed, and thanks for joining us this weekend. We got 2 Red Bulls out in front from an Aston Martin.
Indeed they have at the moment. Fastest lap again, trades between Perez and Verstappen. 1:32.382. Ed says, has Verstappen backed off a bit, or does Perez generally have the legs on him? 4.9 seconds. I don't know.
They have similar pace, though. I think they have similar pace between the pair of them.
Looking at that, I would say similar. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd agree.
Last lap for Perez was a 1:32.554. Last lap for Verstappen was a 1:32.382. But they are always constantly setting the fastest laps, switching between them. And here is DRS. That is
Norris.
Lando Norris going down into turn 1 just a little bit too far away from Nick de Vries. But the sector 1 lap times in comparison, Perez a 33.955, Verstappen a purple 33.879, Perez a 29.106, sector 2, and we're just all waiting. Verstappen's it's a 29.152.
Very close then between the pair of them. Red Bulls have been looking strong all weekend. Verstappen's penalty is not phasing him too much. You don't care what is thrown at him, he can get past anyway. Takes us back to Lewis Hamilton back in 2021, where he started from the back in the sprint race in Brazil, then went on to win that race. This is a similar performance that we're seeing Max Verstappen doing at this moment in time. The gap now is around 4.9 seconds between Verstappen and Sergio Perez at the moment. Replay for Charles Leclerc.
Now what's he done in towards turn 1? He's locked up and gone straight on. He's cut the corner in 7th position, right behind his teammate Carlos Sainz, and just runs off the track a little bit and was a bit slow to get restarted there. Looking at this at the moment, though, you're right with what you were saying, Jess. I think Sargent might actually get ahead of the 2 Haas cars here. Yes, there's 3 seconds between Hülkenberg and Magnussen, but it's not that far. 18 laps to go. Stranger things have happened here in Saudi Arabia. I think we could see Sargent get a point.
I hope so. Albon got it last time, but strange things have happened, touch wood. I hope we haven't jinxed anybody. But here comes Sargent then. I know Hülkenberg's going to defend for his life. You are not allowed to weave on the straight too much, otherwise it can cause trouble. And that is why Sargent is staying behind Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg has the straight line speed advantage on Sargent. And I have to say, Sargent, as he was saying on the radio, he's loving those mediums, and James Bowser's definitely agreed to that fact as well. So that's why Lewis is doing quite well to keep ahead of the Ferraris. I have to say both Mercedes actually are doing well. Russell is doing a great job on those hards, and to be honest, Mercedes are like the best of the rest out of the 2 Red Bulls and Alonso. I think Stroll would have been up there if he didn't have that problem with his gearbox. Leclerc team radio.
What does he do?
Oh dear.
No worries.
Being behind like this, I don't know what to do.
So he doesn't want to be behind Sainz?
I would say, yeah, I think that's a call for a team order there. But Ferrari being Ferrari, yeah. As King Kong says, number 1 driver and number 2 team player. Ed says, by the way, Verstappen could probably do with a safety car in the final phase of the race to close the gap ahead. Also, and then SHT says Sargent last in P20. What? Well, have I missed something now?
Started last in P20.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
He started at the back of the grid.
Yeah.
Because he got a time outside the 107%, and the stewards were allowed to let him race because of him doing fast times in practice.
Yeah, and see, that's why I need you to just correct me if I make that error again as it comes through. I'm starting to flag, I'll be honest, a little bit. It's starting to get a little bit heavy.
Well, at least after today, you can have a bit of a rest until your symptoms have cooled down a bit. So, yeah, on behalf of everybody at USON and JB Motorsports, get better soon, Josh.
Thank you. Thank you, Jess.
If you just joined, by the way, Josh unfortunately does have COVID. Tested positive this morning, but he's still... I don't know how he's doing this, by the way. He sounds fit, even though he doesn't feel like he's fit. He's sounding like normal, to be honest. So, yeah, I have to say, if I was you, I would have probably had a sore throat. My temperature would have been like high, I probably wouldn't have been in the broadcast. So, yeah, you probably would have done a lot better than me. So, yeah, on behalf of everybody, get better soon. And, yeah, Hamilton on the mediums, still having a good pace on to Ferrari. He's not closing up to his teammate George Russell. Do you think George Russell would take people? Oh, we got a battle for Magnussen.
That's for the final points paying position. Magnussen was going to send it up the inside at turn 27 on Yuki Tsunoda, but he's got the DRS down to turn 1. I swear I just heard something fly off into the catch fencing there down towards turn 1, like a little bit of a bang.
I did as well.
Yeah. And a lockout for Magnussen, nearly runs it wide at 1. And he's lost all that pace. I swear it was like something falling or knocking against something there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Wait, is that Magnussen that's slowing a bit down?
Yes, Magnussen is looking a bit too slow, isn't he? He's dropped a lot. He's dropped 3 seconds. And he's in that's Hulkenberg. That's Hulkenberg.
No, not that. No, yeah. That's Hulkenberg 3 seconds, not Magnussen.
Yeah. So Hulkenberg's slowing a bit, and Sargent's right behind him. We'll keep an eye on that.
We had some brilliant pace from Alfa Romeo, Joss and Jess, and look where Zoe and Bottas are, 14th and 18th. Here's a replay of Nico Hulkenberg into turn 1.
So, yes, he touched the wall. Boom. Do you know, I knew I heard something. Hulkenberg touched the wall. Right. Yeah. He brushed the wall coming into turn 1.
That was a big bump.
And we saw Lando Norris have suspension issues in qualifying due to him hitting the wall.
Yeah, that's why he drops 3 seconds off the back of Magnussen. Do you know... Always trust the headphones, because I thought I heard something hit the wall and it was Hulkenberg.
Yes,
Yeah. Proves we're on it, though. I love those moments like that. King Kong says, I died this morning, but I refused to go into the end of the race. Similar attitude. Similar attitude. I said, as I said to you guys as well, I got told, don't do the race. Let somebody else do it. But no, I would never miss a race, and I would push through as hard as I possibly can. I've always said you'd have to carry me out of the commentary box. I'm not leaving it, and that's why I'm here.
Look at the gap between Alonso and Verstappen, 12.4 seconds.
It's happening again for Bahrain.
Yeah, Verstappen, 132.249's fastest lap. He is still setting good
Bottas.
lap
That's
time
Bottas
as
in.
well. Here comes Bottas. Is he going to pit for new tyres, or is he coming into a tyre? Yes, onto the soft tyres. A slowish stop.
It matches delivery at least.
SHT also heard the bang. Brilliant. I'm glad that's noticeable on the stream as well. I love that we've got the audio from the track. It's so easy now to once I figured it out. And I did it completely by accident as well. Commentating on a football match and was just plugging in some things, and all of a sudden I realised I could have it without the commentary. So of course, keep that for the motorsport stuff. So, the gap is 4.5 seconds, and Red Bull are controlling the pace. And now it's up to Christian Horner. Do they keep it Perez Verstappen? Melty 11-1, or will they have Melty 1-11 at the end of the race?
That's going to cause carnage, though, if they slow down.
Yeah, it would. But, as Ian Birch always says, the last 15 laps, anything can happen in the last 15 laps.
And as Ian Birch says, 15 laps to go.
Bingo. That's what I've made a mistake with as well. That was me. That's my saying. I say, anything can happen in the next half hour.
Yeah.
I'm not with it. I'm starting to lose it a little bit. Anyway, look at that. Fastest first, a couple of mini sectors from Perez, so he's still quite quick out there as well. He is quicker. They're both matching each other, so Perez and Verstappen have exactly the same times out there.
That's good.
Ed says, surely if Max is not let through, he will have a massive tantrum. It's his MO. That's true as well.
Well, return the favour from Brazil. Perez was annoyed that he didn't try to get past Verstappen.
Yeah.
So, team radio.
I feel like the Mansell's just running a bit rough.
Not
it's just
again.
the B-bell offset that's left, Max. Can't do anything on the B-bell map itself.
I mean, I'm seeing the drive shaft.
Okay, stand by.
He's feeling a vibration.
Is that why he's
then?
not closing to Perez then?
Yeah. As Martin said, he's feeling some sort of vibration coming from it as well. So it could be again a problem with Max Verstappen, which means Alonso could finish second as well. If Max has another problem, his reliability gonna start creeping in here. And if
He almost grazed the wall.
Yeah, if Max doesn't finish the race, and Perez was wide at turn 22 as well, so Red Bull's starting to have a few errors. But, and Max was off
Perez
too.
could lead the championship.
Yeah, Perez going to take the lead of the title by 25 points.
And Alonso will be P2 in the championship.
Oh, this is shaping up perfectly for Australia.
There was a chicane there, guys.
Yeah.
I thought it was a straight line.
Oh, here comes Zhou Guanyu on Logan Sargent. Logan Sargent may be struggling with his mediums, it looks like. So is he going to go to the outside or to the inside? He's going to go around the outside of Sargent.
Wonderful.
And Sargent, no room to defend there. Zhou Guanyu up to 13th. And we also got, I believe, Nick de Vries. Where's Nick de Vries come from?
It makes like a weird noise in high speed.
Okay, understood, Max. We are monitoring. I'll let you know. We are happy at the moment, Max.
They did something wrong.
Okay,
I can hear something weird with his
Keep going for
engine.
the moment.
Look,
yeah.
Red Bull.
I can hear it.
It went
The Ferrari whistle has moved on to the Red Bull.
Oh no.
You're listening to it now. You can hear it. Yeah, there's a definite
and
problem.
Let's look at the gap between Perez and Verstappen. It's gone
5.2.
up to 5.2. So he is saving, I think, a bit of... I'm a bit worried because if he keeps saving more, would Fernando Alonso close up to Verstappen in 11 laps?
Here he is on board. Let's take a listen.
It sounds weird.
Yeah, it's not healthy, is it, that car?
Also, for Max Verstappen, one more track limit and he gets a black and white flag.
Well,
Thanks, Josh.
this is just getting more and more
Same
entertaining.
for Kevin Magnussen and Alexander Albon, but Albon's out of the race, so that doesn't matter.
If... I've got nervous then. If we have this situation where Max retires from the race...
Is Verstappen slowing down?
He's looking a bit too... He's 4.7.
He's slowing down, I swear. Oh, no.
Is he?
I thought...
Bit of smoke
No, he's not.
I saw. He's on track at turn 22. Everyone's just keeping the eyes on Max at the moment. 4.5.
I'm a bit worried about Verstappen. I think, to be fair, I would have liked to see him come from 15th to first, but it's not looking likely at the moment.
Here we go.
Verstappen.
Max, any more feedback on that issue from before?
Well, yeah, it's still there.
Yep, understood.
No, hold on.
So there's something. Ed says this is Max faking a problem. That's just to make Perez feel like he has a chance. This is his equivalent.
Just like with Lewis.
Yeah, Bono tyres are gone, yeah. I don't know.
And,
is it? They do look a bit alarmed on the pit wall. Look, they're looking at something. Christian Horner's watching the data. I reckon there is
Here
actually
comes
something.
Magnussen on Tsunoda.
This
It was
is
funny.
10th. So
Yes, for points.
Magnussen will have the DRS on the run in towards turn 27. Pulls to the inside line. Tsunoda late brakes, takes it, and there's
Going to wait
Perez.
for turn one.
Perez
You
with
always
you.
should have sent there, Perez.
Having a bit of a...
Oh no, now Perez is having a problem.
Yeah, copy Checo, having a look.
Could Alonso win this race?
Well, we say in the last 15 laps anything can happen. We didn't expect both Red Bulls to have a problem as Magnussen battling hard for 10th position with Yuki Tsunoda. Doesn't come off. Tsunoda stays through. If they both retire, Alonso could win here in Saudi Arabia.
And we can have an all Mercedes podium.
Compared to last week when we had all a Red Bull podium.
Apart from Alonso.
Well,
Just
design
having a
of the
look
car.
in the TV chat, and a couple of other people saying tyres are gone, vibes from Max's, there is something wrong. So
And
a
then
couple
Pedro going
of
Red Bull pit
people,
roll. Hi, Max. Did it magically fix by itself?
Ed says,
And,
unless the Red Bulls crash into each other, then the 1-2 is assured. Yeah, 10 to go here in Saudi Arabia. Perez lead. Oh, there's here for Perez.
Oh, God.
We're happy with the brake pedal.
Okay.
Just a little bit of
Okay,
wear.
good.
There you go.
He's fine.
Panic over for Red Bull fans. Perez is all good.
So Perez is on his way for his 5th victory in Formula 1 and again on street circuits as well. There will be 4 victories on street tracks, only 1 at a normal race course. That was back at Shakir in 2020. So he is a street circuit specialist.
He is. Remember, the last time he won was at a night race, Singapore last year.
Who's that going a bit slow coming out the last corner?
It's
Hulkenberg.
Yeah, because they're riding on board with the battle. With Norris and Piastri's in that battle as well.
I'm starting to
and
shake.
apparently the engineer saying it's fine from Perez, just a bit of wear from the brake pedal.
Sargent's having to go defensive. De Vries is looking on the inside in towards turn number 1. It's not working out there. And De Vries sliding, actually. The two McLarens coming into battle for 14th.
This T-feed chat is amazing. Max,
oh, God.
Max, this is Christian. Have you tried turning the drive shaft on and off?
And then someone said turn it on and off like my old PT. Oh, no.
Starling Ranger says Red Bull hoping for the checkered flag. They're literally willing it on, second after second. Our first lapped car is Valtteri Bottas, as he has been given the blue flag signal to let Sergio Perez go through. So it's taken 42 laps out of the 50.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that sounds, I'd say, very good. It's been a very close race this here in Saudi Arabia. Round 3 coming up in Australia in 2 weeks' time as well. That's going to be even more exciting. No idea who's going to be in the commentary team then, because if I'm still ill, Ian Birch won't come and Megan definitely won't wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Could try percussive maintenance. That is, hit it with a hammer.
Yeah.
Well, I had all the times I had COVID, I recovered in a short amount of time.
Fab.
Like about 3 or 4 days, so you should be fine. But here's De Vries on Sargent, turn 27. De Vries has got the move done. We got McLaren of Norris, who's battling with Sargent.
Side by side with the DRS as well. Sargent will cut him off. Lando's going to try and keep on the inside line. He tries for the cutback. Sargent gives him the racing room. That's smart from him. And he keeps in 15th position, but he's already challenging the back of De Vries already, so they're still going for it.
Yeah, we could see a battle into turn 4. Is anyone going to go for it? Let's hear from Perez.
Okay, target 32.6 plus 0.4. Is Max doing the same? Max's last lap 32.6. I mean, so why you tell me 33.0? Just target plus 0.4. Jobs are good. We are pushing with other reason, guys. But have to do.
Ace.
Oh, it's starting. Oh yeah, Ed says, see how you feel tomorrow night. Yeah, I will. I'm starting to think that I've got the adrenaline for the F2, and it sort of slowly built up, and the F1 kicked it in. But if I am really bad tomorrow, then I think I'm going to regret commentating tomorrow with the body, because I've put it through a lot. There's debris right on the racing line. It gets thrown up as well by De Vries. Oh, it's Mika Hakkinen.
Oh, Mika Hakkinen.
98-99 world champion.
Max be like, okay, I got the drive shaft in my hand, where do I plug it?
Oh, Lando!
Rear suspension, yeah, over the curb.
Oh, not again.
Back to the Future Sparks, my word! Double Sparks at turn 12 for Lando Norris. But he's right
Here
on the back.
Here comes the two McLarens on the Williams. It's going to be a McLaren sandwich if Sargent's not careful.
Lando's going to have it. Sargent goes defensive. Lando looks to the outside and towards turn number 1. Not going to work out. Pushing it together, Jess.
Looks like it, doesn't it? We don't have that long to go until the end of the race. Verstappen and Perez still a 10th behind each other, as in terms of lap times.
A bit closer to Sonoda.
Guys, we don't really need this. So we're pushing now. You're free to push. Free to push.
Make up your mind, Red Bull.
Max has probably said something over the radio, and now it's like, okay, because the gap is 4.4, so Max probably can't catch up with whatever problem he's having, so...
Yeah, that's probably why then.
This is Perez's.
Perez still has the fastest lap, yeah.
I'm trying to... So, Verstappen won last time out, and Perez was second, correct? And now Perez is going to be race winner with Verstappen second, which means they'll
be tied on point.
But Perez has got the bonus fastest lap. So Perez is
did
going to...
Verstappen get that in Bahrain?
No, Joe.
Oh, that was Piastri missing turn 23 there, going wide at 22, having to cut 23.
Yeah, Joe got the fastest lap in Bahrain, so Perez will lead the title by 1 point.
That's going to be close. We got Logan Sargent and the two McLarens once again. This is good. It's like the Williams versus McLaren days back in 1993 and 4. So here comes Lando Norris trying to get past Sargent. No can do right now. He's probably going to wait until the next opportunity. Norris on the mediums, Piastri's on the hards. Sargent is on the mediums at the moment.
Well, this is Perez on board. Why are we looking at him? I'm just having a think. Ed said, I wonder if Verstappen will pit late on for softs. I don't think he can because he hasn't got the time.
Verstappen's gap's gone up to 5 seconds.
Can you see any damage in the car?
So far, no feedback. Stand by.
That's Bottas.
Something is not right. I mean, sliding error.
Bottas is not right. Something sliding at his car as well. Riding with Sergio Perez, watching on. He is leading the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix by 5 seconds to Max Verstappen in second position. Comfortably, yes, at 26 points. So Perez will lead the title by 1 point.
That'll be redemption for Sergio Perez, won't it? I think 26 points.
Max is not going to like this. He really isn't. The same way Sebastian Vettel didn't like it when Mark Webber led the title in 2010 until South Korea as well. Max didn't lead, actually Sebastian didn't lead the title until Abu Dhabi. As Tsunoda goes defensive again, as Piastri's passed Norris on the hard to medium compound tyre. Now we've got Tsunoda in 10th and Magnussen 11th for the final points paying position. Jess, and they're still fighting hard.
They are, aren't they? Tsunoda obviously trying to score some points here today. Magnussen obviously the Sargent's passed both McLarens.
Sargent to 15th, Norris and Piastri having a battle as well. They've swapped back around, and now Piastri having to look on the inside. Norris goes defensive, 5 to go in Saudi, and Piastri's looking racy all of a sudden.
He definitely is. He's showing what he deserves to be in Formula 1. He wasn't an F2 champion for a reason. Well, he is the F2 champion for a reason. Here comes Oscar right now.
This is him making the move into turn 27 that we said that he'd moved up on the timing screens.
Sargent was ahead. All right.
And this is the two McLarens going side by side into turn 1. Norris to the outside, Piastri to the inside. There is a little bit of contact, I think, on the apex of turn 2. We can't see because of the big screen. We'll have to get another angle.
But it was showing us that part of the track, so I suppose that helps a little bit.
Gap now 5.5.
Here he is, Max Verstappen.
What's the fastest lap?
We are not concerned about that at the moment, Max.
Yeah, but I am.
Oh.
Verstappen is not very happy at all.
And look, battle for 10th, changing as Tsunoda versus Magnussen side by side and towards turn number 1. And Tsunoda goes late. Magnussen on the inside, they both look up and they both keep it on the track. Tsunoda around the outside of Magnussen, pushing it hard. And Magnussen gets into 10th position. Fantastic.
Yeah, now Lando Norris team radio, his engineer saying the safety car window is now closed as it's nearing the end of the race, currently on lap 46 of 50. Perez still with the fastest lap of 132.188.
Tsunoda. Oh, standard Yuki there.
Does that mean I can
yes, Yuki's throwing on the yes.
On the bingo, Yuki gets angry.
Bingo?
Yeah, Josh has got a bingo card about things that's going to happen in the F1 season.
It is in the F1 chat. I will DM it to you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
I love playing that bingo as well.
I've got it on paper here, but I've made the digital version.
I will admit to you though, guys, in the past 10 minutes or so, I have started shaking on my legs. So
that's because it's getting cold.
Yes, it is.
Well.
The heater is on, but it's not working that well. So I'm looking forward. A very hot bath is coming after this race, and straight to bed, I think. That's Max Verstappen, 6.066 behind Perez now. He'll be on 43 points in the title. Perez will be on 44. little bit of an insult there for Max.
Yeah, it does look like it. As Perez looking like to score his first win around the Jeddah Corniche circuit, which means there'll be 3 winners from 3 Jeddah races.
A fantastic situation for them then, and Red Bull starting the year in dominance, but at least it's going to be close because we're going to have the battles between the Red Bulls going forward, and how long until the Aston are going to get it. It's still going to be the same top 3 though, of Perez, Verstappen and Alonso that is dominating the early start of this season. It'll be Alonso's 100th podium in Formula 1. It won't be the win though, which Megan will be very happy about, but at this rate she's going to have to do all remaining 21 races. Russell Radio.
Russell Team Radio.
So there could be a possible 5-second penalty for Alonso end of the race. Gap 4.5.
Why?
That's weird.
Probably because he did it under safety car. I don't know. I've not seen anything.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. King Kong says, you're lucky I have an appointment with the Grim Reaper. In reference to earlier on in the YouTube chat.
So maybe you weren't allowed to serve it under safety car then?
So is Alonso going to be off the podium? What's the gap?
No! 4? Aston! What have you done, Aston?
But we haven't seen anything on the board. Russell is told there could be a 5-second penalty for Alonso.
But it would have been flagged early on, just like with Ocon's incident last week.
Yeah, so incorrect serve of penalty. I don't think there is. I think that's Mercedes clutching at straws there.
Yeah, probably.
Because the FIA would have said immediately.
Or was the message for race control rather than Russell?
Yes, yeah, like, take a look at this. It says Piastri goes to the inside of Lando Norris and Prix is through on the inside line. Piastri makes his way up into 16th position. Yeah, so I like what we think there, Jess, is that it's literally just like race control, pay attention. Is that legal?
Yeah. I am hearing a lot of people on the TV chat and on Twitter that got scared by Yuki Scream over the radio because they have Team Radio autoplay on.
I did, to be fair, actually, as well. It made me jump a little bit in the box. Oh, it's really starting to get cold in this commentary area. I'm going to dip down and turn the heater up to maximum if it's not already. See if
Don't
that warms it
do
up.
that. Last time you messed with the heater, it burnt the place down.
Brand new heater, though.
True.
However,
but anyway,
to
moving
go.
on to the last lap. Perez going through the first chicane, and here he is on the camera shot.
Alonso.
So currently Russell is 4.3 behind. It'd be nice to have 5 seconds in just in case, but we think we're all clean.
Okay, so
Yeah, so push.
Fair enough.
Yeah. The T-feed and driver tracker, there we go. Wasn't quite working there, but it's just reset itself to us now. So Alonso, who is already now he's got 5 seconds ahead of Russell. So Alonso switches it on, and we'll have it. It looks like we're going to watch the whole last lap.
I've also let you know of a little trick in commentator chat if you want to use it for the next Grand Prix.
Ooh.
Let's have a look.
For the driver
Very
tracker.
nice. I'll have a look after this. Final lap. Lap 50 of 50. Perez is going to start this lap for one final time. 7 seconds. So Verstappen is definitely saving the engine to avoid a problem of DNFing. And Perez, Russell Team Radio.
Is he getting a penalty or not? I'm pushing like a madman at the moment.
Just keep pushing like a madman.
Well, we don't know.
Very nice from Russell.
Will he have a penalty? Will he not have a penalty? That's a question.
Yeah.
4.9.
Someone's put in the TV chat, boring ... going to watch Mickey Mouse.
And someone said, "Are Alp talking in French on the team radio? Is it forbidden?"
Talking French?
Yeah.
You can talk whatever language you like, as far as I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I know Italian was on the team radio at one point for Ferrari.
Yeah.
Fastest section one match for Verstappen. He's pushing.
He wants that will put with Verstappen a point ahead. Then he wants that bonus point to just keep ahead.
He wants the championship.
He really doesn't want Perez to have it, does he? But Max will be Max and childishly moan and gloat and say, yeah, you may have won the race, but I've got the championship, and he's made a mistake coming through T22. But nobody, and I mean nobody, can detract for what has been an absolutely dominant performance from Sergio Perez. Second pole in Formula One, from lights out to checkered flag, Sergio Perez wins the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix in superb style. Max Verstappen gets the fastest lap at the line with a 1:31.906. I guess the child has to have his dummy. But for 100 podiums in Formula One, Fernando Alonso is back on the podium for the second time this year and has 100. And across the line, he is 5.1 ahead of Russell. Alonso on the podium.
Russell didn't see because Alonso literally stopped right after the checkered flag to do a slow drive past the pit wall where his teams were, and Russell came flying up. But on your 2023 season bingo cards, you can now cross off Red Bull too.
Again.
We already had that last week.
But again.
Bahrain.
But Max now leads the championship by 1 point to Perez.
Old Sargent on Norris. The race is over, but it's not over for the midfield cars. Logan Sargent is under pressure from Lando Norris for P16. Sargent is trying to defend for Norris into turn 27. Can he do it? Norris is going to have the DRS. Piastri is going to finish P15 for his first Formula 1 finish this season and ever. Oh, it's going to be close. Sargent by 1:10.
Fantastic end to the race there as well. But Sergio Perez wins. He doesn't lead the championship. He's a point behind Max Verstappen. And let's hear from the race winner.
It's the restart. Perez wins.
Wicked job.
Wicked. Nice job, guys. Well done. Excellent result for the team.
Fantastic, Checo. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really amazing drive. On fire. Well done, mate.
Well done, guys. It's been an awesome first 2 races. Let's keep it up. Let's keep pushing. Plenty of more fun to have.
But he doesn't lead the world championship.
Yeah, as Martin said, doesn't lead the title, Jess. Max kept that all to himself.
Yeah, even the team told Verstappen to not go for fastest lap, and guess what he does? He does it anyway.
Here he is.
Team radio.
Great recovery, well done.
Yeah, not bad. That's good result for the whole team.
Great recovery, Max. That was a really good drive. Fastest lap at the end, 31.9. 1-2 finish. Sorry about yesterday, but great points today.
Driver of the day.
I guess Red Bull won't that bothered then with Verstappen going fastest lap. So did he tell him to go fastest lap then?
Yeah, but it's Christian Horner. He'll do anything to keep Max happy, won't he? I mean, Christian Horner across all of Formula 1, he has been a bit of a hasn't he? Christian Horner, what's his job in the So, I hope we're still on USN, because it looks like it's frozen on my end. As it comes through.
I'll check.
Yeah, I think the graphics of the internet's gone off again.
Oh no.
Let's hand over to Sky.
Winner for the 5th time in his career. The first time since Monaco last season.
I think we're still on YouTube.
Yeah. Sergio Perez.
Yeah, you're on YouTube.
And back on both. There we go. End of the race, system closing down. Yeah, you're switching a bit, but it's back. The system's closing down, just finishing it off, and everything's the car's in. Still has a bit of a problem actually. Forward. I think OBS, Mick is having a bit of a problem there.
Of course, yeah, very happy to be here on the podium.
There were some concerns there. We heard you talking about the drive shaft, the vibration. That righted itself, or you had that right to the finish?
Yeah, right to the finish, but I mean, I was in second. We had a big gap behind, so at one point we decided to just, let's say, call it a day and just settle for second, which I think anyway was a very good recovery, you know. So happy with that.
You may have settled for second, but you didn't settle for not getting that point for fastest lap.
I gave it a go at the end, so luckily it worked out.
Okay, well, you're still leading the championship, Max. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, we didn't hear from Perez or Alonso there. Sorry about that, but Max was being a bit late there as well. So, that was something we didn't need. We've concluded our coverage on USRN as well during that problem. Let's hear from the drivers in the cool-down room.
Let's have a listen to the cool-down room.
There's the championship. Max Verstappen leads 44 to Perez 43. Alonso 30, Sainz 20, same as Hamilton.
I quite like the idea, Martin, of having two drivers watching their battles straight after the race there. Max Verstappen wasn't involved in those battles at the start. He certainly was involved in the top 3 places by the end.
It wasn't easy in the beginning with just following the other cars through the first sector. You lose so much because of the tailwind effect.
So the safety cars help you a lot or no?
Yeah, I was like 16, 15 seconds behind you before.
Still.
I would have put up.
Yeah.
It made it a little bit easier.
Max is sat in Sergio's chair.
You know that's not stopping yet? That's the last lap, yeah. Were you not to give the mix? 33.0, yeah. But then I asked what was the fastest lap, and I think it was only like 10 faster than what we were doing. What did you do? Guys, 21.9.
Alonso is on Verstappen's chair.
One second.
Fastest lap, and we'll talk about that a bit later on.
Sergio's not happy with that, is he? He feels that they were told to call it off. And
there we go then. And I tell you what, as we're getting ready for the podium, offence. Hang on a minute. What's this? Car 14 for the incorrect starting position. So that was normal. We know about that one. It's just coming up on the tweet decks. But we can barely hear you there, Josh.
Yeah, they're just
changing his mic
to having a look, but they would have if they point it out, if the FIA points it out after the race. That's a bit mad, to be honest.
They didn't do without an Ocon. They pointed it out straight away, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and it was pretty much like, okay, we'll take it from there and everyone will be okay. So, well, fingers crossed on that one. Onto the podium then, they come in third place for his 100th podium in Formula One, Fernando Alonso. Still the same top 3 in different order in here, from Bahrain to Saudi Arabia, 2 weeks until Australia. I wonder what's going to happen then. Max Verstappen, championship leader now by 1 point to Sergio Perez. It's his 79th career podium in Formula One. But for Sergio Perez, no doubting who was stronger today. His 5th career win alongside his 2nd pole and his 27th podium in Formula One. The king of the street circuits, definitely going the way. And pit lane incident involving car 14, Alonso noted for serving the penalty incorrectly.
They can't do that.
Here's the...
That's rubbish. Anyway.
Here's the national anthem. It's now under investigation. But the podium's going on, so I wonder what's going to happen there.
It's going to be like a... Sorry, I'll talk about it after the podium.
And now the Austrian national anthem for Red Bull. The official national anthem of Formula One there, the Austrian national anthem, as it seems. Still no idea what's going to happen with Fernando Alonso. We're keeping an eye on it. It's currently under investigation by the stewards. Here it is, as we see Perez lifted up. So apparently it's an incorrect serve with the penalty. Did they touch the car within 5 seconds? They served the penalty. Seems to be okay to me, and then they go for it. The winner's medal goes as well to Sergio Perez.
It's because they did it under the safety car, but they should have pointed it out right after it happened, not while the podium is going on. It makes no sense.
Yeah, they've ruined
FIA.
it.
FIA, and if they were consistent,
Mike louder, Josh. I can hear. Red Bull get the Constructors' Trophy there. Victory number 91 for Red Bull. And podium number 237 and 238 of their careers. Well, go on, Josh.
Yeah, if they were consistent, it would be a 10-second penalty, which would take him off the podium down into 4th, but they really can't do that. They should have done that after the...
this is awkward.
They should have done that 2 laps after.
Yeah.
This is awkward. Fernando Alonso gets his 100th podium P3, but will he keep it? That'll be a question we'll answer tomorrow, or the day after, or the day after that. Some point
or the day after that.
Yeah.
Or the Thursday or Friday of Australia.
Possibly that too. Champagne time! Well, no one can deny Red Bull's dominance in 2023. Opening 2 races, there were 1-2. It's still Perez, Verstappen, Alonso in any order. Victors in Saudi Arabia. 2 weeks' time, we're going down under the Australian Grand Prix at Albert Park. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Thank you to Dylan as well. Look, who says, looking gorgeous today. Love the commentary. A voice to play with my emotions and face to soothe my soul. Well, thank you, Dylan. But considering I had COVID, I was very much, that's a very nice compliment. Thank you very much. Okay, then, closing thoughts from this Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. We'll keep it until long as possible. Jess, what did you make of it?
Perez, unstoppable today. Verstappen, a phenomenal drive from P15 to P2. And FIA, why did you start to investigate the pit lane incident now rather than earlier? Those are my thoughts.
I think I know why.
Why? Mercedes.
Rear jack was attached to the back of the car.
Oh no, just before the 5 seconds were up.
No, I think they put it on when they did the fight, like started the 5 seconds.
So...
have another look.
Why didn't they notice that before? But anyway, Josh T, your thoughts.
Because it's the FIA.
Yeah, that's true.
Bit of a boring race, I think we can both agree. In many ways, it could have been better. Just move the circuit somewhere else, outside of Saudi Arabia, and we will be okay. But they do know how to do fireworks and drone shows here at Saudi Arabia.
Well, next week you can join us for live coverage of MotoGP. We'll have practice highlights, qualifying live, Grand Prix live, and the first ever MotoGP sprint as well. That's coming up. We'll all be live on YouTube next weekend as well. Alongside that, the Formula E Sao Paulo E Prix will be on as well. And then 2 weeks' time, we'll be in Australia. A whole host of races on that weekend as
10-second
well.
time penalty. He is off the podium.
Oh, no.
Oh, for goodness sake. Why?
So we leave Saudi Arabia with it just being confirmed. Fernando Alonso has a 10-second time penalty for serving the penalty incorrectly. So that puts Russell into third position. Hamilton will be... No, it'll be Alonso fourth because he was just ahead of Hamilton by 1.1 seconds. So Russell gets...
Well, that's a bad way to end the stream, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is going to be appealed heavily to Aston Martin because Aston Martin will say, why wasn't that brought up in the middle of the race like it was with Ocon last year?
That should be appealed.
Race, actually.
Yeah, that should be appealed personally. But anyway.
I'm just letting Megan know. She's put, well, at least Max didn't win this time, and at least Alonso didn't win when I wasn't there. And I've just texted her saying, 10-second penalty for Alonso off podium. So we'll wait to see her reaction.
Oh, God.
We shall await the 100th career podium and celebrate it once more.
Megan's just typing.
Australia.
Megan's typing. Is she going to finish? Okay, going to Australia then. Jess, who do you think is going to be dominant there?
I don't know. It's going into the unknowns a little bit. I think the Red Bulls will be hard to beat. Look, I think the Ferraris need to find some way in having their performance, because even the Mercedes have beaten them today. So, yeah, the Ferraris need to step it up a bit.
Yeah.
Alonso has done well here before. It's hard to tell, but I don't think anyone's going to stop Red Bull the way this is going. They're just too quick.
Josh?
It's going to be a good in Australia. Of course, F2 and F3 making their debut at Australia. So I'm going to say it. It's going to be a really interesting Australian Grand Prix for the 2023 season.
I'm really looking forward to it, as well as Megan is typing still, so I presume it swears. Let's take a look then at the results. They could have found this out ages ago. He had his penalty so long ago, so they could have seen it was done incorrectly. They are out to get him because he's threatening another Red Bull championship! Exclamation mark ×3 for Megan there.
Oh, yes, Megan!
Even when she's not in the commentary box. Let's take a look at it though quickly.
I'm currently glad.
Let's take a look though, because Kroon's on the skypad.
Look at it. When he first comes in, the mechanics there all waiting, as they should, for 5 seconds. And this is the rear jack, of course, which is what you guys have all been talking about. It's a bit tricky because the mechanic's leg is in the way, but you could see that it's just made contact. We'll go into another clip we've got where it zooms in.
Yeah, he's on the car.
The fireworks are going mad here. There we go. That rear jack just has made contact. The stewards have decided and judged before the 5 seconds were up. So typically in the procedure, the car comes in, and the team will make a call across the pit crew. The team manager or the sporting director, somebody on the pit wall, will make a call to say 5 seconds are up. And on this occasion, unfortunately, that jack has just made contact with the rear of the car. And, yeah, Fernando Alonso off the podium.
Thank you, Karun. Well, we were going to go
Why not do that in the middle of the race? Why do it now straight after the podium? Why, and why?
I was going to...
Why FIA, why Aston, why?
Well, I'll talk to you both separately, because I think if I can get you, Jess, Josh, and maybe Tom tomorrow to sit down and in Discord and shoot a little review show, we can put that out as well, because the Grand Prix review...
Yeah, that sounds good.
Fantastic. The Grand Prix review won't be hearing tonight because I'm literally done. I've just made it through the races.
I don't have PHDL tomorrow because we're on a break week,
true.
so that's fine for me.
That's true. So we'll get that sorted as well, and you can pre-record it and... send it to me as well, and I'll edit it and get it out for Tuesday. Well, my thanks to you, Jess, a lot this weekend, and you too, Josh, as well, for helping me out, especially today. My thanks to all of you for watching, and I do mean that, because all 13,879 people who have watched this race on YouTube, it's been absolutely fantastic. Red Bull domination continues. Aston Martin have a day to forget. My thanks to Jess, my thanks to Josh, my thanks to you at home. 2 weeks then until we head back to Australia. F2 and F3 made their debut there. Will it still be the same story, though, for Red Bull? Or can someone spring a surprise? We'll see you in Australia. Bye for now.